signed, not expected to return to the club, according to Chris Cotillo. Blue Sox manager Chad Tracy will take over as the Red Sox interim manager. Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow will hold a press conference at 10:40 today before Tracy and the Red Sox wrap up the series with the Baltimore Orioles at Camden Yards this afternoon. Connolly early on the bump for a 1:35 first pitch, and the New England Revolution played Inter Miami to a 1-1 draw yesterday. Sports Time headlines are brought to you by the Shawsville Star Market Foundation. They're back for Feeding the Puck for families during the playoffs and will donate $100 for each assist to the Greater Boston Food Bank to help fight food insecurity. Learn more at 985thesportshub.com/feedthepuck. I'm Alex Barth on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update with Matt McCarthy at 11 o'clock.
Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Just can't take this damn parade. Who cares? Joe, there's a 2-mile wait to get past the damn green line.
Who gets scared by a bear in the neighborhood, call Joe Murray.
I happen to trust Joe Murray.
First time I ever met Joe Murray was at a Hooters.
Well, good morning. Welcome into 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray, joined by none other than Matt McCarthy here on a Sunday. Matt, there is a lot to talk about today.
No, really? What happened?
Well, the NFL draft happened.
Oh, how adorable.
The Bruins play this afternoon.
That's a big deal.
The Celtics play later on tonight. Those are playoff games.
Slightly less of a big deal, but yeah, it's still a big deal.
And the Red Sox, they won 17-1 yesterday.
Oh, really? Huh.
They got a lot of power, home runs, defense, pitching.
Position player, home runs.
That's true. Durbin, his home run doesn't count. Asterisk. And then, after the game, the owner of the Red Sox got on a plane with his crew.
Well, I would say he probably, just based on the travel, was there before the game or was traveling during the game.
Correct.
I don't think they got on a plane right after 17-1 and said, you know what? They won, we're firing the manager.
Yes, that is right.
That decision was made before yesterday.
The Red Sox fired Alex Cora, Pete Fatsi, and the rest of his staff, not Andrew Bailey. But Alex Cora is out, and just so people know, we would have been on the air last night, but we had the Revs, who's a flagship, and it was also the Messi game.
Yep.
So it was a little hard to just interrupt, I don't know, the biggest superstar in the world in soccer.
I would have, though. Trust me.
We would have been there. So this is really the first time anybody on this radio station is able to react to the firing of manager Alex Cora. So, Matt, I'll let you lead off with your take on the move, because I think I have a few nuggets, and Chris Cotillo has been all over it, by the way. So good on him. I know Jared Carabas was talking to some people last night. I was tweeting with him and Milliken.
I wonder who Carabas was talking to last night.
And there's a lot. I got a few things on my end. Again, I'm not a reporter. I don't have sources. I talk to people. So your overall reaction to the Red Sox making the move yesterday and Alex Cora being fired from the Boston Red Sox?
Okay, it's more than a firing. It's a purge. They have purged Alex Cora and his loyalists, his cronies, whatever you want to call it, from the organization. This isn't, don't say, well, they fired the rest of the coaches too. That has nothing to do with the job they were doing as coaches, good or bad. That had everything to do with the fact that they were Cora people. Pete Fatsi is a Cora guy. Ramon Vasquez is a Cora guy. Kyle Hudson would have been fired last year after his performance in the ALCS had he not been an Alex Cora guy. This is a clean break from everything to do with Alex Cora in the organization. They have purged him and all of his people. Now, Alex Cora is not the number one problem with the Red Sox, Joe. And if anybody says he's the number one problem, you're wrong. He's not. But he was a problem. He was not going to be a part of the solution here. The number one problem with the Red Sox, at least the 2026 Red Sox, is roster construction. So you probably have every right to say, well, why is Craig Breslow still here too? Like, in a vacuum, who deserves to lose his job more, Craig Breslow or Alex Cora? It's Craig Breslow. Craig Breslow has done a worse job than Alex Cora. But Alex Cora was a problem for the entire organization. They have culture issues. If Craig Breslow is the chief baseball officer, Alex Cora is the chief culture officer, and their culture sucks. They've got problems behind the scenes, and this even more so proves that they have problems behind the scenes. So you get rid of the manager, you get rid of all of his buddies to clear things out, and essentially Craig Breslow has seized power here, which is probably not a good thing. You don't want Craig Breslow to have more power in the organization, but it speaks to the problem that Cora was. If you fire Craig Breslow and keep Alex Cora, what general manager in their right mind is going to walk into that situation and work with Alex Cora after Cora probably got Chaim Bloom fired? Not that Chaim Bloom shouldn't have been fired, but Cora had problems with Bloom. He had problems with Breslow. He's worked for 3 different general managers. You had to get rid of Cora. If you want to fix this thing, you have to get rid of Cora. They shouldn't have stopped there. They should have fired Breslow too. But make no mistake about it, I don't want to hear that Alex Cora wasn't a problem for the Red Sox. He was. He wasn't the biggest problem, but he certainly wasn't going to be a part of the solution either. He had to go. If you want to fix what ails the Red Sox, one of the things you have to do is get everybody rowing in the right direction. And nobody over on Jersey Street is rowing in the right direction. So Cora's gone. His people are gone. That's a good thing. That's a start. It's probably not enough, but I will take it. He needed to go.
I am with you, Matt McCarthy. I am in on the Red Sox moving on from Alex Cora. I think the narrative will be that he was handed a bad roster.
He was.
But the narrative will be that. It's fact, but it will be the narrative. The narrative will be he was handed a bad roster, but here's the facts and the truth of it. They wanted to fire one of his staff mates. They wanted to fire Pete Fatsi. Cora wouldn't go along with it. So you know what happened? They blew him out too. Again, I don't have sources on this, Matt. I know it. I can't source it, but I'll tell you right now, they wanted to fire Pete Fatsi. Cora did not want to go along with it. He defended him, and it came down to a point where they fired Cora and everybody else too.
Well, so they probably should have wanted to fire and maybe did want to fire Kyle Hudson after his performance as third base coach last year. He cost the Red Sox a trip to the American League Division Series, but he's a Cora guy, so we can't touch him. It's just, Joe, what you're getting to is one of the most important points here, is there are factions in the Red Sox organization. You've got Cora people, you've got Breslow people. Nobody's rowing in the same direction here. They have a culture problem, and Cora was at the center of a lot of those culture problems. Was he going to turn around and fix this thing? You think Cora was eventually going to get on board? This has been a problem for years now with Cora, getting him on board. And does he have a right to complain about the hand he's been dealt, the rosters he's been given?
Yes.
Of course. But how long has Cora been bitching and complaining around here?
Yep.
He did it for years with Bloom. He started it again this year, the Ken Rosenthal comments. He did it again the other night, Friday night. I wonder if it was the straw that broke the camel's back.
We got that audio. We'll give it to you in a bit.
He made comments, and as Joe said, we'll play it for you in a bit, that it's like, well, we've got a young team. I've got to coach these guys up. That's my job, which is yet another Alex Cora. Don't look at me.
Yes.
It's not my fault. Look at the crap these guys are giving me. Eventually, you got to get on board. Dude, get on board. Yes, your roster sucks, but can you do your job? Can you stop complaining about the job that you have to do? You are part of the problem. They had to get rid of him, and as a result, they had to get rid of everybody in the organization associated with him, loyal to him. They're problems too. Is Pete Fatsi a problem? Yes. Is Kyle Hudson a problem? Yes. Are they the biggest problems? No. But you got to start somewhere. And starting with Cora and his people is the right place to start.
So another thing that I got, again, a lot of this stuff is semi-reported by Chris Cotillo. I just happened to talk to people who were around the team last night. The other thing that I got was that a lot of Red Sox coaches and even some of the new acquisitions, Matt, were surprised by the position player group, their youth, and how they're not ready to go. So, for example, Alex Cora would play a Monasterio, a Kiner Falefa, instead of Marcelo Meyer. Breslow and the organization want to play the younger players. They want them to develop. Cora wants to win games. And unfortunately, when you're 10-17, those decisions don't look good, right? Those decisions don't work anymore. I am not defending Craig Breslow, the philosophy, or whatever they're doing, but he can't do his job, Breslow, when Cora's essentially sabotaging the program.
Yeah, and Cora's been sabotaging the program here for quite some time.
For a long time, even when Hein Bloom was here.
And you know what? Not to say that the program shouldn't be sabotaged. I was Team Cora in the Cora versus Bloom wars of 2021 through 2024 or whatever it was, 2023. I was Team Cora. But if you want Craig Breslow fired, and I do, by the way, and most people in this town do. I mean, how can you put together this roster and not get fired? If you want to fire Craig Breslow, you can't have Alex Cora here. You can't do it. Because what general manager is going to want to come in and work with Alex Cora still as his manager? It's not going to happen. He's going to say, wait a minute. Cora stabbed Bloom in the back, stabbed Breslow in the back. Why do I want to work for this guy? One of the reasons, and it's not the only reason, but one of the reasons Craig Breslow was the 117th guy they interviewed or wanted to interview and eventually took the job is because nobody wanted to come work with Alex Cora. Nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to deal with a manager who is actively sabotaging the organization. And I think it's fair to say that Alex Cora actively sabotaged the way things were trying to be run here for a number of years. Now, he might be right about it, but you still can't have a manager who's not on board. Alex Cora has not been on board.
Agreed, Matt. I am pro the move. And when I keep saying narrative, the people who call in today are going to be pissed because Alex Cora was handed a bad roster. Which might be true. People are going to call in today saying John Henry hasn't done enough, and I will disagree with you. Not because I get a paycheck from Nesson. For real.
Nesson Joe.
No, it's not. For a week, I was here, Matt, doing mornings. I know you were doing other shifts too. I don't want to say I was laughed at by my colleagues, but when I knew that being at the other place, being in that place at Nesson, everybody that works at that place was on ice because the ownership was around.
Yep.
It was visible. And the people who've worked there for 20 plus years, when they see ownership hanging around, what do? They're scared.
Smell it.
They know it's coming. I didn't think it would be Alex Cora, to be honest with you. I didn't think so. I thought it would have been a position player, a trade, something to that degree. Maybe a hitting coach, right? Yep. That was the first step. That's what they wanted to do. Again, I heard JP Ricciardi say this last night. There are other guys. I'm not a sourced reporter or any of that. The gatherings that I have is everybody was on edge because ownership's been around. It sounded like they wanted to go Fatsy. Cora wasn't going along with it. There was chirping all week from Cora saying, I'm not worried about my job.
Yep.
Right? How many times? He went on the other station and said that this
Sure
week.
thing.
Not worried about my job. My job security's fine. Kept talking about the youth. He was taking shots at Breslow and the organization. They had enough of it. But it did start with they wanted Fatsy out. Joe Murray says they wanted Fatsy out. Cora wouldn't go along with it, so they blew them all out. And I'm telling you, I think it's the right move for the organization. I don't know if they're going to win 8 in a row and get right back in the race. I don't know if that's going to happen. And we'll tell you who will be taking over in a minute here because I know Matt was with the man yesterday. So, you got guys that... Listen, I wasn't there yet. I wasn't in Baltimore yesterday. I wasn't at the Four Seasons Hotel, which, by the way, I'm sure is a very nice...
Delightful.
Nice place. But what I do know is there were problems all around. And it was in that dugout more than anything. I know it hasn't been great for Craig Breslow. It hasn't been a great offseason. And ownership did spend money. They hired a guy to spend money. Is it the right guy, Matt? The jury's still out.
No, the answer is no. He's not the right guy.
But here's the deal. Now he can actually see things happen. And I will tell you this. This to me, I'm only saying this name, Theo Epstein. I'm only saying it because his job now is to kind of look over the Fenway Sports Group and their asset management. And, he's somewhat on his way to becoming kind of an owner type, a stakeholder, right? I wouldn't be surprised if he was into this move as well. Not sourced. Mm-hmm. I'm just telling you. I think he might be in on it because that's the move Theo had to make years ago.
Yep.
In 2004, they had to make that type of move, and I'm not going back to all that. I'm just telling you, this move here, I'm in on it. It shows that ownership, although you don't think he cares enough, he cares, John Henry.
So you're on to something, Joe, and I've been on to this too. They've been very visible. They've been very around. I didn't think it was going to happen this soon, but he was in Cincinnati on opening day. It's my understanding, and I don't have the exact details on this. I believe the only home game he's missed this year was the Wednesday getaway game against Milwaukee. I think he's been there more often than not. I don't know if that's the only game he's missed, but I know he missed that one. Other than that, I think he's been there.
He was at the Sell the Team game because he even asked Sell the Team. The Marathon Monday one, because I remember you were on in the morning. I was in Vegas listening to you in the morning. And on my way home, I could see the photos of Henry, and I don't know how much Warner's involved, to be honest with you. I don't. But I know John Henry is. I know
Warner's been there too.
He's there.
I know he's been there.
He's the present owner. Mm-hmm. I just don't know how much he's involved in that.
John Henry has been there. You want to talk about being present? They've been there pretty much every game. So you can say they're not financially invested enough, and that's a fair criticism. That being said, whatever they've spent on this team, whether it's the $264 million on the luxury tax or the $190 million in cash, $190 million in cash should buy a hell of a lot better baseball team than this. You want to say ownership's a problem? Fine. Yeah, ownership's a problem. Their problems run deeper than ownership. The field manager was a problem, and the GM sucks at his job. The GM bill for $190 million, and that's the lowest number you can get out there. $190 million on the Red Sox. This team is about a $50 million team for $190 million. That's a lot of money wasted.
And to the guy, Beantown Bad Boy, that wants to say, Joe, if you had all this information, why didn't you reveal it? Because I like my job too. I just watch. I'm there, and then I go on the radio and I give my opinion. I'm not a reporter. I'm not a sorcery guy. I don't source. I am not sorcerer guy.
What is Merlin over here?
But I will tell you this. Everybody was literally shaking in their boots because the owner's been around. And I will tell you this. The most powerful man in the Red Sox organization has been Alex Cora for years. Outside of the owner.
Not anymore.
That reign has ended.
Craig Breslow has seized power.
I know you got something on that, Matt. I know you got something on their new manager, Chad Tracy, as well. I'm in on this move. I don't know if it's going to spark wins. I don't know. But the power struggle or whatever has been going on, the push-pull, it has come to an end. Craig Breslow and the owner have taken over the team.
We're also, they speak at 10:40 today. We're going to carry that, right, Jeff?
Carrying it live, baby.
We'll carry it live.
Jeff Williams got it all ready to go back there. We'll take a quick break. Matt McCarthy's here. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The
organization. And, wiping out Cora and a bunch of guys who are Cora guys on that staff, Vasquez, Fatsy, who Cora is a huge fan of, Veritek, you name it. To me, that is Craig Breslow putting his imprint on the organization, and it's self-preservation and him saying, look, I'm not going to let Cora wheel and deal and backroom his way with Sam Kennedy to my firing in a way that Chaim Bloom felt happened with him. And that's a real piece of this.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. It's Joe Murray, Matt McCarthy. We're with you today. The Bruins pregame will take you up until 1:30. We will talk a little bees, a little Celtics in the draft. We're going to do that. But the story, no doubt about it, is the Red Sox firing. Not moving on, not dismissing. I'm trying to use another friendly word.
I think they used the word move on, right?
They fired his ass.
They purged. It's not even firing.
What was that, Jeff?
Future endeavored.
Future. Oh yeah, like wrestling. Future endeavored. That was Chris Cotillo. These guys have been all over it. I guess there was like an email that went out from Alex Cora this morning. There's like a lot of stuff. And
a lot to catch up on.
Alex Cora is very happy.
Can you blame the guy?
No, I don't.
He's getting paid to go away. He's either going to not work and get paid or go work for Dave Dombrowski again.
Yeah, or the
Wouldn't you
Mets.
want to work for Dave Dombrowski?
Yeah. The Mets I'd like too. Be a nice little place. So listen, I'm in favor of the move because I want to see the Red Sox start somewhere to improve their organization. Cora, I think, who's a pro, a good manager. And when I use the word manager, this is something Troop and I, when Troop, our mentor, would always be like, it's the manager, Joe. He'd always do that. He doesn't want to coach these guys. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
He's the manager.
It's different.
He manages the roster. I've had enough. I personally have had enough of Alex Cora. I know he's a good manager. He's a good manager. But let's say what it is. He's a good manager.
Yes, he is.
But he's somewhat. I don't want to use Doc Rivers as like a comp. Okay, Doc didn't want to start over. Right? When he was with the Celtics, they moved on. They got Brad Stevens. It worked out. It was great. But Doc had to really work with veterans. That's what Doc's thing was. I know that Cora's had other young guys. I know he's had them. But, like, the platooning was always something he was going to do.
He feels passionately about that.
It was never going to change. It was going to kill Marcelo Meyer. He's probably happy today.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Marcelo's very happy.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Roman Anthony's back in the lineup today. They say it's a back injury because he's been carrying the team, probably.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
How late was he out the other night?
Joe, was there photos on that? I thought that was from a couple. I don't know. Somebody was like, "How come you're not going at Roman for being out late?"
He was out late.
Then I heard the photos were from a while ago, and then I'm not sourcing anything. I'm not a reporter. But anyways, man, that my take is just Cora. I think was getting in the way of what Breslow was trying to do, and somehow just factual. They're a bad roster, but him and his staff made the roster worse.
Yeah, because they didn't want to deal with it. And by the way, the roster is terrible. It's awful. So, I mean, what do you expect Cora to do? And I've heard this from a lot of Red Sox fans over the last 12 hours or whatever it's been. It's like, well, what do you expect Cora to do? You can't make chicken salad out of chicken crap. You're right. But Cora actively tried to make the chicken crap even crappier because he didn't want to do the job. That's it. He didn't want to do the job. Cora was more interested in fighting battles behind the scenes, picking fights with GMs. For a guy who, and listen, Cora lost every right to complain when he signed that contract extension. That was it. He's the second highest paid manager in baseball. He won't actually manage the team. What you've been given is not good enough. Can you stop complaining about it? Can you actually try to do your job instead of actively not do your job and sabotage the whole operation? He was a culture problem. And their culture problems run deeper than Alex Cora. You go back to, the reporting about, Breslow firing guys in the front office and left and right. I mean, Breslow has seized power here, and that's something Cotillo was saying. He's done it in the front office. They brought in that sportsology group who then fired a whole bunch of people in the front office. Now he's fired Alex Cora and all of his loyalists. So make no mistake about this. Craig Breslow undeniably has power in the organization at this point. He has purged the opposition. Cora was opposition. The long-standing guys in the front office were opposition. Those guys have been gone. They've been taken out back. You're not going to hear from them again. So this is the Craig Breslow show at this point. Is that a good thing? No, of course that's not a good thing. But now the bullseye is squarely on his back. And you have to get, in some ways, I know it sounds crazy, you have to get Cora out of the way. You know, if this thing doesn't turn around, are we going to sit there and blame poor Chad Tracy? We're going to say, well, Chad Tracy wasn't a good interim manager. No, of course not. If this thing doesn't get turned around, you know who John Henry's turning his attention to next? Breslow.
Yeah. I'm like Jack Nicholson right now. Just everything you're saying, I'm like, yes. No, and you said it earlier. For the listeners, I love your passion because you care about the team. Mm-hmm. Cora had to be the first move. Because now if it doesn't turn around, Breslow's out.
Yep.
Now John Henry has to be like, I actually have to pay somebody now to run the Red Sox.
You know, it's interesting. Because Breslow whacked everybody so quickly, he has no fall guy at this point. I mean, it took Breslow, you go back to like the reporting from a year ago. This is basically over the course of a year where Breslow has seized power. There's nobody left. Mm-hmm. All the Cora people are gone.
Can I tell you another one? All the people, our listeners, who are great, have been also, like, I don't want to use the word brainwashed by Cora, but Cora has been trying to get Breslow fired.
Oh, yeah.
It just so happened Breslow beat him to the punch.
Well, you bit or be bitten, Joe.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Two snakes. It's like a scorpion fight.
But that's the Joe. I wish I wish that weren't the case. That's who the Red Sox have been. The amount of backstabbing in that organization over the last few years is out of control. It's never going to get fixed until you purge the snakes from the organization. Alex Cora?
Oh, he was the big snake.
Cobra.
He was the poisonous cobra. By the way, if they fired Breslow, nobody else would have taken the job. Mm-hmm. Unless there's probably somebody in-house they would have given it to, and he would have been fired next year.
But do you want to give it to somebody in-house the way things are going?
No.
And Joe, not that I'd be we got to go because they're going to speak.
We're gonna get Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow to speak. We're gonna make it happen. I don't know how we're gonna do it.
We're heroes.
So let's pause quickly. I see you guys on the phone lines. We're reacting to this because the stories. Oh, get ready for the smear, baby.
Both sides of it.
And one of them I got already. John Henry very happy with Craig Breslow's offseason last year. And it swayed a little bit of that Cobra power to Craig Breslow. We'll take a break now, and then we'll come back, and then we'll have it live for you. Sam Kennedy, Craig Breslow, right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports.
have it for you live. They said today 10:40 Eastern time. Hopefully that was no other time. The press conference, it's going to be on Nesson, 10:40. We have Nesson on right now. It's they haven't gone to it yet. So if you need
it'll be happening.
Yeah, if you need a pot to pot up, Jeff, Nesson is where you can get that. They had an emergency 3:10 to left last night on Nesson with Tom Caron, Rob Bradford, and JP Ricciardi. JP was a former general manager. Nice guy. I met him. Nice guy.
Oh, no, he's great.
Worcester guy.
Yep.
And I should mention this. Matt McCarthy called the Worcester Red Sox game yesterday.
What a day. Very, kind of last minute thing that came together. And talked with Chad Tracy.
I was going to say, he talked with the manager of the team
90 minutes before he got called up. And I had no idea what I was asking him when I asked him. But I asked him, I said, hey, Chad, with the big league clubs struggling, how does that affect things down here? Does that place any more pressure on guys down here who know a call-up may be coming? And, he basically said, you would think it would, but it really doesn't. Basically all these guys are professionals down here, and, it's if the call comes kind of thing. You kind of can't control that. 90 minutes later, he's the guy who gets the call.
I'm glad it's him.
I was
thinking Andrew Bailey at first.
I'm glad it's not Bailey.
I am too.
I never want a pitching coach to be my manager. That almost never works out. Yes, I know John Farrell won in 2013.
But he left. He was a manager somewhere else and then came back.
Yeah, pitching coaches.
So it doesn't count.
Pitching coaches almost never make good managers. You also don't want him. You don't want a true Craig Breslow guy being a manager. And it looks like we're about to go to Craig Breslow and Sam Kennedy. This is as fascinating a press conference as we've had from the Red Sox in quite some time here, Joe.
Yeah, and Tom Caron's just he's dancing like we are. TC, good guy. Again,
total pro.
And just to mention that 3:10 to left, that podcast, Bradford was getting all sorts of texts from Cora saying that he was happy.
Are you suggesting that Alex Cora is friends with some people in the media here? All right, we're good to go.
All right, so we got it all live and ready to go. Here is Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow on the firing of Alex Cora.
In our city will be felt forever. The memories that we all shared from 2018 are going to last a lifetime. He's a friend to so many in Boston and across New England, and so that contributed to making this a very difficult decision. And so we thank him and wish him well. Yesterday was definitely painful, but we felt it was a necessary move, and we felt it necessary to take decisive action to achieve the goal of a fresh start for the 2026 season. We have full confidence in the players in that room to perform at the very highest level and get us back to playing baseball in October, which is the goal. Ultimately, what matters is the performance on the field at the major league level, and a new beginning starts today. So with that, we'll open it up for any questions that you have.
Sam, when did you guys arrive at this decision?
Made the decision yesterday morning and got on a plane to come down here and talk with AC and the coaches in person.
It's just 27 games in the season, basically. Why now? Why not wait out? We always talk about small sample sizes. Why not see if this can be fixed?
Sure. Well, first, I would just want to echo Sam's sentiments about Alex, what he's meant to this organization and the staff, and thank them for all of their contributions. But answering your question directly, it really comes down to the belief that we have in the players and the belief that we have in the group to accomplish what we set out to accomplish. And by acting today, it gives us 135 games ahead of us. So we've got almost a full season's worth of run to take advantage of this fresh start and ultimately to compete for a division and a deep postseason run in the way that we talked about it and envisioned and believed, heading into spring training.
Greg, a couple weeks ago you said that you believe changes along these lines in season, including early in the season, often make things worse. What changed?
Yeah, again, ultimately, responsibility for the performance on the field, it falls on me as the leader of the baseball operation. But so too does the responsibility for doing everything that I can and everything that the organization can to find solutions. And right now, we feel like these changes were warranted. And we're really, excited about the chance for Chad to come in and be a consistent, stabilizing voice, and one that a majority of our player group is familiar with.
But if a couple of weeks ago you thought these changes did not work, what did you see in the ensuing couple of weeks that led you / the group / ownership to go for this?
Sure. Well, certainly the performance on the field has not been what we expected. And beyond that, again, this is a decisive, and convicted demonstration of the confidence we have in our player group.
How would you characterize what your working relationship was like with Alex, and, particularly in this season? And is that part of the equation here, that you guys were no longer as aligned as you wanted to be?
I actually think I have a very good working relationship with Alex. Certainly, neither of us was satisfied with the start that we got off to, but we continued to bounce ideas off of each other to put all potential solutions on the table. Ultimately, as an organization, as a baseball operation, alongside ownership, we reached the decision yesterday to make these changes.
Between the two of you and John, who ultimately made this decision, and what is the process there? Does Craig make a recommendation? Is it something you bring to Craig? How does that happen?
Yeah, look, Craig leads our baseball operation, and he's made several bold decisions and recommendations, and this was one of them, and we fully support it, and that's why we took the action we took yesterday.
What does John Henry think of all of this?
I think it's evident by his presence here that this was a collaborative decision, and we were together as a group.
Sam, you said this move was necessary in your mind. That would seem to obviously suggest him not being satisfied with the job that Alex was doing as manager. For either of you, specifically, what would you say was not working that Alex was doing that you thought had to change?
Yeah, I could say that, I don't think it's productive to get into the merits of an individual decision or action outside of saying that, again, we believe in the group of players that we have in the clubhouse down the hallway, and we believe that a new direction is warranted, new voices, and something that enables us to take a fresh start.
Craig, the team as a whole has struggled, but the pitching has also underperformed, and that side of the coaching staff was mostly intact. What went into who stayed in and who went from the coaching staff for both of you?
Sure. It is true that we have fallen short in terms of the performance across hitting, pitching, defense, base running. But as it relates to kind of the staff and trying to tease out, exactly what's driving that, have confidence in the pitching group's ability to turn that around. And I think we've seen evidence of that with Ranger and with Garrett, and have the full confidence in that group to be able to get us on track.
What made Chad the right choice for you guys, as opposed to somebody maybe on the major league staff or from the outside, and how many people were considered for that position?
Sure. Chad has been in the organization for a while. He's managed at the highest level of our minor league system, and he's familiar with meaningful relationships with a majority of our roster, given just kind of the young players that we do have. He's demonstrated an ability to get the most out of that group, and I think equally important is his ability to build relationships with veteran guys and earn trust and respect, and then also just to be a consistent and familiar and stabilizing voice.
And interim tag for the rest of the year?
We believe that Chad is the right guy to handle this transition, and we're going to put all of our effort into supporting him to do that, and we'll kind of figure out where that leads us.
So you're open then to hiring a more permanent manager in season?
We could be. It could also be that Chad is exactly what we're looking for. We have full confidence in him. We believe that to be the case. But any time a team is not performing, I think you have to look at all options.
Sam, can you say John Henry considered answering questions with us? Have you suggested it to him? Has it come up? Or would he, this is a pretty seismic day in the organization to not be able to ask the owner.
Yeah, John, Brez, and I have been together for the past 48, 72 hours, and have been working on this process together. So leave that at that.
Who will be the bench coach?
We're still working through that. Obviously, things have moved pretty quickly, and particularly for Trace. But what I told him is we want to make this as comfortable as possible, and so I want him to give some thought to that. And I know he's got relationships with plenty of the people on staff, and we'll kind of figure out exactly who takes on those responsibilities.
Sam, you said that Craig has made many bold decisions over his tenure here, and that this is one of them. Is it fair then to characterize this particular decision as, Craig-led?
Absolutely. I mean, we hired Craig to be our chief baseball officer. He runs the baseball operation. We are a front office-led baseball operation, and our job is to support the entire group the best we possibly can, and that's what we did in this instance.
So are there any other coaching additions immediately outside of Epperson, Petzler?
There will be. We're still kind of working through the specific logistics, but again, kind of similar to answering that bench coach question. Once Trace has a chance to get his feet under him a little bit, we're going to talk through where he feels like he can be complimented.
What will Jason Veritek's role be going forward?
Yeah, we're still working through that and having conversations, and obviously Tech is an incredibly meaningful and important and revered member in this organization. Who has a ton of respect from me, but I think those conversations are best handled in private.
Can we assume that it will not be in uniform in the dugout?
Yes.
Sometimes the team will get rid of some coaches first. It's kind of a first step to see if that kind of helps. Was that under consideration, or why did you just decide to go all in with AC and several coaches all at the same time?
Sure. I think. In terms of what was under consideration, again, when the performance on the field, is not what you expect, you have to put all options on the table. But we decided, kind of broader change and new voices and new direction was appropriate here.
Have you guys spoken to the players yet about this, and how much concern is there for a fairly young clubhouse to deal with this kind of change?
Yeah, just spoke to the players. Trace just spoke to the players, and I think that they are an incredibly talented and mature group, and certainly the fact that they have a relationship with Trace has helped, and we're going to be here to support them.
When a decision like this is made, are the opinions and perspectives of the players in that room taken into account? Were they consulted or maybe used as a sounding board during this process at all?
No, I don't think it's fair to ask players if they think change is appropriate. At least in my experiences as a player, that question has never been brought to me. I think our job as an organization is to try and support the players as best we can, to try and create the environment around the players that allows them to perform at a really high level, and we felt like this decision allows us to do that.
Were there any sentiments being bubbling up from the clubhouse, either in support or in dissent of Alex in the last couple of weeks?
I think Alex has incredibly strong relationships with the players, with the staff. I think that's evident in terms of the connection that he's able to make and the communicator that he is. But again, I think kind of trying to figure out exactly what player sentiment is, can be very, very difficult.
So what level of concern, if any, do you have about kind of the blowback, the frustration, and this perception that you guys are a bit rudderless right now?
Listen, when you underperform, there's always concern about blowback. Our job is to do the best we possibly can to block out the noise and make the right decisions for the franchise. But we are well aware the passion in Red Sox Nation is unlike anywhere else, and it goes with the territory. It's what we sign up for. We've been around for a long time. We're from here. We know exactly what our fans expect, and it's our job to achieve our goals. And we have underperformed, and that's a large reason as to why we're sitting here right now.
You said you felt responsible for the product on the field. you pretty famously were the one that kind of pivoted to run prevention approach over the off season. Are there any second thoughts about the direction you took in assembling this roster, given how it's performed?
Well, I think you work backwards from the last statement, which is how we're performing, and we are clearly not performing, up to our expectations, up to the players' kind of historical track records. I think we need to do everything possible to get there and then determine exactly, kind of whether or not this was the right strategy. But step one is getting players to perform, the way that they have historically, the way that we believe that they can, and putting support in terms of staff and resources around them in order to do that.
Can you take us through the process yesterday at the hotel, just kind of how things went down?
I've just, at a high level, say it was critically important to John and to myself and to Brez to have the conversations in person directly with those impacted. And that's what we did. Everyone handled those conversations professionally. They're really hard conversations because you build relationships over a long period of time. But it was really important to us, regardless of the choppiness that may come with making a decision like this on the road. It was just important that we had those discussions directly with the guys impacted.
And how long was your meeting with Alex?
I'm not going to get into specifics about meetings, but appreciate those guys and how they handled it.
Sam, on the topic of sort of timing and executing this, what specifically about maybe this week prompted you to act yesterday? The sweep at the hands of the Yankees, the first loss here on Friday night. What was it that sort of pushed things over the edge for you?
Yeah, I would start by saying when the product on the field is not, is not what you had expected, you have to be willing to consider everything. I would also say that, baseball is not a sport that lends itself to being evaluated game to game, right? And so, I don't think you look at any individual performance and say that is a reason. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's a great way to make decisions. Ultimately, when we reached a decision, we executed on it. And this is really about looking forward. It's about the amount of season that's in front of us. It's about our belief in the players, and it's about giving them every possibility to get where we want to go.
What would qualify as a success for the rest of the season?
But I don't think our goals have changed. We talked all off season, all spring training about building a team that could compete for the division and making it to the postseason.
Was Alex given the option of moving forward as manager with different coaches?
I don't think it makes a ton of sense to get into specifics of conversations.
Right. What decisions do you want to Trace to make on the field? Maybe some positions changes or something like that?
I don't have a specific set of, this is the way that things need to be run. We brought Trace in because we believe in his ability to connect with people and build relationships, and because of his baseball knowledge and that he was a very successful manager in AAA. I think our job as a front office is to provide the manager and the coaching staff with the best support and the best information we can to enable them to make the decisions in real time that they see fit.
Greg, is there anything more than wins and losses at play here? Wilson Contreras has talked about the energy being low throughout the year. There's been, we had a player get benched on the first road trip, different things. Is there anything in the kind of, I don't want to say off the field, but more than the wins and losses part of this equation?
No, ultimately, this is the big leagues, and it is a results-oriented business, and we need to win more games. We need to perform better. Some of those things that you talked about, like they might be underlying, in a way that, not being in the clubhouse every day, I don't have like the perfect appreciation for. But from our perspective, like I said, this is about looking forward and moving forward, and the opportunity to have a fresh start starting today.
Would you classify Alex Cora's tenure as successful?
Oh, without a doubt. Alex will go down as one of the best managers in Red Sox history. Incredible track record, and as I said at the outset, he leaves a great legacy in Boston, and we're very grateful for it.
Craig, in sports, it's often presented as kind of a power struggle. Like when you took the job, Alex was here, and then you maybe have some different philosophies. Do you feel like that's a fair characterization, that maybe, that kind of you're the one who gets to keep going with your way because, and Alex doesn't, you know what I mean? Like you kind of won out. Is that a fair?
No, I think characterizing a relationship as a power struggle is unfair. I look at these roles as a partnership. As someone that I can bounce ideas off of, he can bounce ideas off of. Ultimately, again, this is about needing to do everything we possibly can to give ourselves to have the best, 135 games from here forward.
And what do you feel like maybe you don't even feel like, but what do you have to prove now in sort of having this all put in your lap, even the way, I know that was there anyway, but the way that Sam kind of put all that confidence now behind you.
Yeah, ultimately, when anyone signs up for these jobs, they're taking responsibility, they're taking accountability for the performance on the field. What I need to do at this point is to be a kind of calming, steadying voice for the players, for the staff, and to continue to provide as much support and resources as I possibly can.
When did the possibility of coaching staff changes first come up for you guys?
I don't have a specific date. I think. We went into we came into spring training with confidence in our coaching staff and confidence in the roster. We didn't get off to the performance, the start that we had wanted, and then in the same way that you would ask questions about process, about players and roster, you ask questions about staff members, but. Ultimately, like Sam has said a number of times here, when we reached the decision, we felt like the most kind of respectful and fairest way to proceed was to execute on it as quickly as possible.
How do you decide who stays and who goes? Like you have one assistant hitting coach that stayed, two hitting coaches that are gone. Like how are those kind of individual decisions made?
Yeah, again, you kind of try to evaluate what you believe best positions the group to be successful going forward.
Craig, what have the last couple of days been like for you? This Sam said was led by you. Was there a thought to giving it more time and how, this is the first time you've fired a manager. What has that all been like?
Yeah, on a human level, on a personal level, it's incredibly difficult. These are people that you build close relationships over multiple years. They are really, really good people, good fathers, good husbands, and so I think we tend to think about only the professional aspect of this, but the human side makes it just unbelievably difficult to you wrestle with these things. But when you get to the point where you feel like this is the best decision for the organization and the best decision for the players, no matter how difficult, you have to do it.
Did you seriously consider waiting or no? Was it a tough internal struggle to maybe get to May or get to Memorial Day or anything like that? Or
yeah, I think you always consider the alternatives, right? And being too late is maybe equally problematic. More problematic is being too early. But when you're talking about people's lives and people's jobs, you want to make sure that you are fully confident that it's the right decision.
27 games isn't a ton of hindsight, but with what we do know, what we've seen, do you feel like you put Alex in a good position to succeed coming into this year?
Yeah, I think we've talked about the fact that ultimately the accountability for the roster falls on me, and this was a challenging roster to manage, just given kind of the position player group. That's something that I acknowledge, and I acknowledged it with Alex talking to him yesterday.
How do you believe your relationship with Chad will look different from your relationship with Alex?
I worked intimately with Alex for 2+ seasons. Chad and I have kind of worked together and spent time together as I've visited Worcester. But I think it's going to be a hard question to answer until we have a chance to build that relationship and build that trust. My hope is that it is a very collaborative partnership, and he views me as someone he can bounce ideas off of. I view him as someone that I can bounce ideas off of, and together we're able to make great decisions for the Boston Red Sox.
Can I revisit the phrase you said, we're a front office-led organization? A little more of like what that means to you, and does that sort of preclude the type of manager that Alex is, a little bit more insight baseball, if you would. Like, what does that mean to you, a front office-led organization?
Look, we have to empower our chief baseball officer, Craig, and his team to run the baseball operation. There's a sacred sort of partnership between the front office and the clubhouse, and so that's what I mean by that. Craig and his team are leading the baseball operation. They have been ever since we hired him, and so that's what I meant by that. And our job is to identify the people to lead the baseball operation and to get behind them and support them at every turn.
Sam, over the last 10 years or so, there's been a decent amount of upheaval in the organization. Changes and firings of 3 lead baseball executives, now this. Do you worry about the perception of the organization perhaps looking to scapegoat, or that there's instability given all the changes you've been through?
Yeah, change is really hard, and it's not something that we seek out. It's on us in ownership and executive leadership to identify the right people for every area of the organization, from baseball operations to the business side, and so that's ultimate accountability is with us. And we have to get this team. Getting back to October last year was a huge first step. And again, as I said earlier, ultimately performance at the major league level is really all that matters. And we've got to win baseball games and get back to October and get there on a consistent basis. Yeah, John was a part of the meetings yesterday and a part of the meetings that we just had this morning.
And did he leave today?
No.
Okay. Do you think it's important that maybe he speak to some of these changes?
Look, Craig and I have a job to do, and this is our job.
Are you guys staying through this game, or are you going to continue to travel with the team, or what are your plans?
I'm going to stay on.
Craig's going to stay with the team
through the end of the road trip.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you being here.
All right, Joe. Wow.
All right, there's a lot to dive into there. We have to break. So why don't this hour of the Sports Hub, is it brought to us by Valvoline Instant Oil Change?
Let's find out, Joe. It is. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people.
And if there was a headline this hour, Matt, who would have been brought to us?
The 99. Visit the Nimes for Prime Rib Lovers Weekend. Enjoy a prime rib and get a free 3-course meal upgrade Friday after 4 p.m. all day Saturday and Sunday. You got to love the Nimes.
So we'll break.
We'll come right back.
We'll react to this. I see you guys on the phone lines. Matt took a bunch of notes. I took 2 big notes, because I feel like that was the big takeaway. But the Red Sox have parted ways with manager Alex Cora, and they've told us why. Do you believe it? We'll have all that more next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Cracks in your patio or pool? Call the local foundation repair experts at Ramjack.
Craig, how does that happen?
Yeah, look, Craig leads our baseball operation, and he's made several bold decisions and recommendations, and this was one of them, and we fully support it, and that's why we took the action we took yesterday.
Back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Matt McCarthy's here. I'm Joe Murray. There were, I think, two things that really stood out to me, but I'll recap my notes here. They made the decision yesterday morning. That was the decision to fire Alex Cora. They feel that there's 135 games left of runtime to get a fresh start. Breslow felt like the changes were warranted, which I agreed. Went on to say that Chad Tracy's a familiar voice, but also said he might not be here for the long term.
If I'm Chad Tracy, I'm not feeling too good after the way Craig Breslow spoke about this situation.
And you know, it's funny, the press conference itself, I think the Red Sox media sometimes takes some heat for, I thought they handled it well.
I thought that was the best press conference the Red Sox beat has had in forever. I thought the Red Sox beat was outstanding today.
I also thought Breslow and Sam Kennedy were good, but as the thing went on a little bit, I felt a shift in who's next almost. And you just heard the clip coming back. Craig Breslow said it was a joint decision to fire Alex Cora. Then they did ask if John Henry was involved, and Sam kind of was like, well, we were all together. Kind of like that thing. And then there was another question where Sam Kennedy flat out said it was Craig Breslow's decision.
That's the takeaway here, Joe. That press conference was the Red Sox press conference equivalent of Bill Belichick after Deflategate, go ask Tom. They put it all on Craig Breslow. They said, Breslow, they made it very clear. Kennedy made it very clear that Breslow made the recommendation to fire Cora. And essentially what he said is we went along with it. We agreed with it. Obviously, nothing can happen without John. You're not going to fire the manager without John Henry approving it. You're not going to fire the manager without having a sit down with Sam Kennedy and John Henry. That's not the way it's going to work. So when they say that they were all a part of the decision, they all were a part of the decision. But they made it very clear. Absolutely, Sam Kennedy said that this was a Craig Breslow-led decision. That's the story right here. Craig Breslow has seized power within the Red Sox organization. Fenway Sports Group, John Henry, Sam Kennedy have signed off on Breslow seizing power. But when you seize power, and in the end, you're not the owner, you're not actually in charge of this thing, you're next.
I felt as though Sam Kennedy flipped it all on to Breslow.
Yes, they made it very clear. That's the takeaway. This was Breslow. They put it all on Breslow today. And Breslow's okay with that because he's up there. He knows what they're going to do. He made the recommendation. They signed off on it. But I'm sure there were conversations. If this doesn't work out, you're next. He knows that he's not blindsided by that. He's taking control, and he knows what happens when you take control.
Craig Breslow is in charge of the Boston Red Sox. And now we have 135 games to find out if Chad Tracy can turn it around.
No, Joe, they did not say that.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, you're right. Chad Tracy is going to take over for now.
Breslow dodged on when they asked him point blank twice, is Tracy the guy for the rest of the year? And he dodged both times. He would not commit to that.
He did.
Tough spot for him.
Yes, and he's well liked. He, by the way, Pepperdine guy, played baseball at Pepperdine. Knew Alex Cora when I believe they might have played together at one point.
Everybody knows everybody in baseball.
I think they played together.
They probably did.
And so he knew Cora. They had a good relationship, Cora and Chad Tracy. You said you talked to Chad Tracy yesterday. right? And it was just about baseball.
Yeah, obviously I didn't know this was going to. Trust me, if I knew this was going to happen, I would have asked him some different questions.
It's like, hey, you think you'll be the next manager of the Boston Red Sox?
I mean, good vibes from him for what it's worth. First time I met the guy, I walked away very impressed by him. I've met managers before. I got a good sense from him. What does that mean? I don't know. He's walking into a tough situation. I mean, you won't talk to anybody around the organization, Joe, or, in Red Sox media who doesn't think very highly of Chad Tracy, which is why I'm struck by the fact that Craig Breslow was very lukewarm in when they asked about Tracy today, very lukewarm. So, again, this is Breslow seizing power. He might have, the sense I got from this is, he might have somebody else that he wants to bring in from outside the organization. We cannot rule that out at this point.
I mean, if that is the case, and he is in charge, all right, this has got multiple layers to it now. I would like to see Chad Tracy take over.
I would too.
Me personally.
Give him the rest of the year.
Give him the year. See if there's improvement. The young players he already has a relationship with. He knows the guys. And he's going to listen to what Breslow and ownership say. That's what they want, right?
Yeah, as an interim manager, you don't have any power. All the power in the organization is in Craig Breslow's hands at this point. So no matter who the manager is, I mean, Joe, it could be you.
Yeah.
It could be me.
Could be us.
It really does. It's a tough spot for him to be in because it really doesn't matter what he does. He can come in, do a great job, and the roster just might suck. Are we going to sit here at the end of the year and blame Chad Tracy if they still suck?
No, nobody blamed Ron Renicky when, he sucked.
But who might try to blame him? Breslow.
So where I'm going...
And that's why he refused to commit to Tracy for the rest of the year.
Good point on that one.
That's self-preservation from Breslow.
Because I think Breslow, if they suck the rest of this year, the 135 games, I think Breslow's gone.
I do not rule that out.
And I think Tracy and all those guys are gone too.
Yeah, no, I mean, the whole operation gets cleaned out.
So the fact that he didn't commit to Tracy is eye-opening.
Yep, because he needs an out. He needs something. He needs to be
He has no more scapegoat.
Right, and not that ownership should believe him or probably would believe him if he goes to them 2 months from now and say, Chad Tracy's the problem. You're going to say, dude, you said Alex Cora was the problem. Maybe you're the problem. Yeah. So I understand from a self-preservation standpoint why he did not commit to the idea of Tracy for the rest of the year because he needs a scapegoat. But make no mistake about it, he's the next to go. Sam Kennedy made that pretty clear.
That was a
this
weasel.
Is all on Craig.
That was a Weasley move. But you know what? He's got to worry about his job too, right?
Well, how many general managers has Sam Kennedy gotten to have at this point?
How many? Bloom? Before Bloom?
Well, he came in during... Did he come in during Sherrington, or had they already hired Dombrowski? Either way, that was such an ownership level decision because Dombrowski and Henry had gone way back. So he's had Dombrowski, he's had Bloom, and now he's had Breslow. As a team president, and we talk about like the Bruins, how many coaches do you get as a general manager? As a team president, how many general managers do you get? Is it 3? So
Matt, yeah. I'm using this as a positive for the future of the Boston Red Sox. If Chad Tracy works, or whoever they bring in after Chad Tracy and Breslow's roster construction and new people in place work and they make the playoffs, I think they'll stick around.
Oh, right? Yeah.
If it doesn't work, they're fired. They're all gone. And John Henry's going to have to spend money on the team and get this team back in the right direction. So for everyone who says, sell the team, oh, it's awful, this, and that, the first step was moving on from Alex Cora.
Yes.
The next step is seeing if what Breslow has done can work with a fresh voice that the youthful players are familiar with.
In the end, Joe, listen, I don't think Breslow has done enough, but if you're going to hire another general manager, you can't say, well, we just fired Breslow, and another GM is going to say, yeah, you should have fired the manager first. You didn't give the GM enough of a chance.
Yep.
You have to fire Cora first before you fire Breslow, because what GM is going to come work in a situation where he was saddled with Alex Cora, and that's the way that front office people are going to look at this. Like, the GM didn't get to pick his manager. He was saddled with a manager who sabotaged the previous guy, was trying to sabotage him. as much as I want Breslow fired too, to hire the next guy, you probably do need to, in some ways, and I'm using air quotes, give Breslow a chance.
Mm-hmm. And he's got 135 games to do so, whether it's Chad Tracy or somebody else. All I'm saying is if it doesn't work out, there's a new regime coming in town.
Yes.
And I think that's best for the Red Sox.
They need a full house cleaning. The house cleaning needs to go beyond Alex Cora, but this was an important start.
I hope this works out. I really do.
I do too.
I'm going to say this.
I don't think it will.
I don't believe in Craig Breslow.
No, I don't either.
But also he's not equipped. He never was ready for this. It was I hope it works out. I don't think it will, but if it doesn't work out, I don't think it's bad for the Boston Red Sox organization.
What, getting rid of Alex Cora?
No.
Oh God, no.
Cora,
he needed to happen.
Cora and Breslow.
Oh yeah.
What I'm saying is if this 135 games doesn't work out, Breslow's gone. And now the ownership group, the Fenway Sports Group, who sends me a Christmas card,
Ness and Joe,
they can't mess around anymore. To your point, they hired a GM when they already had a manager.
It's never a good thing.
Now they're going to have. We are the Boston Red Sox with young players such as Roman Anthony and players under contract like Garrett Crochet and Chapman at the end of the ball. I'm just giving you names.
Mm-hmm.
We're a top 10 payroll in baseball, however you look at it.
Right. And they should spend more, but they are.
But this is what they are. That becomes an attractive job. It wasn't attractive when it was Alex Cora, with who nobody wanted to be the manager, because who was the most powerful guy in the organization?
Alex Cora. No GM wants to come, no experienced GM wants to come in, work for an ownership group that keeps firing general managers and is empowering the manager over the GM. Now that the manager's gone, it's easier to sell the job to an experienced guy.
Correct. And I don't know. I don't know if Breslow's got someone up his sleeve. Like, I don't know who. Maybe we need to start making candidates. I don't know who he knows. I don't know what manager could come in here and fix that roster, right? Because I think we agree Cora made the roster worse than it already is.
Yeah,
a bad roster.
The roster sucks.
So
it's awful.
And I don't know what Chad Tracy's going to do to make it any better.
Worst case scenario, Joe, is they do turn it around just enough and they go 83 and 79.
Yeah, and then they both get fired.
They just
again.
missed the playoffs, and they're like, well, you see, if we just had the manager and then Breslow gets another crack at it. Yeah, you either need them to turn it around completely or bottom out. Yeah, them ending up in the middle with all of this maybe earns Breslow one more year, and that's a disaster.
I think ownership is involved, everybody. Is where I'm going.
They're involved.
I think that's what everyone's been crying about. I think they're here now. And they have 135 games to find out if Craig Breslow can work it out. I think we all have our doubts. But I do think it's a good thing if it doesn't work out. Because they're going to have to pay someone to come in and hire the right guy and start all over. But ownership is involved. I didn't think they were before because Alex Cora had so much power. So, in a way, Matt, I think this is a good thing. I have one more take before we go to break. For the last 2 weeks, I've been biting my tongue on this because the team sucks, so I don't want to say it. I haven't heard Alex Cora once in the last 2 weeks talk about making the playoffs. It was always about the roster, young guys, you know.
Yeah, because sitting there bitching and complaining, which is what he's done for 5 years.
What did they say today at the podium? Both guys.
No, they made it very clear that playoffs are still the goal here. So as a result, if they don't make the playoffs, what happens? To me, you fire the GM.
Exactly.
I mean, Breslow's going to try to fire Tracy, but I don't think that works.
But this year was I know they didn't make all the moves. They lost on Bregman and didn't, but they still were a playoff team.
I mean, they shouldn't be the worst team in baseball.
Exactly.
The roster sucks, but I mean, there are a lot of problems here. I think we all understand that, and Cora was one of them. I mean, there's so much to get to. I know we got to hit the break. People are on the line. We'll do it quickly.
Wow, I'm happy. I'm happy about the Red Sox. I'm glad that ownership is back involved. I really am. Now, they could just tuck away for the rest of the year and just let this guy break.
They're not going anywhere for the rest of the year, Joe. I feel strongly about that because they are, if they're firing Cora, who they very much liked, they now have their eyes squarely on the front office. So this is not the end of changes if things don't change here. That would be my sense from this press conference today. Sam Kennedy made that very clear, didn't he? This was Craig Breslow's decision. He said, quote, "We have to empower Craig to run the operation."
Yes, and Cora wasn't allowing that. And also, they're not going to sell the team.
No, it makes them too much money. Yeah,
so stop.
Joe, here's the thing. Like, when it comes to ownership, I can't change ownership. You can't change ownership. We can't do it. But I can run another general manager out of town because the only person who ran Chaim Bloom out of town more than me was Alex Cora. Yeah. So I can, Craig, I can run you out of town too, bud. I have now determined that I will do it.
You've seen Goodfellas, right?
Yes, of course I have.
Remember when Tommy's about to get made? Mm-hmm. His mom looks at him in his nice little suit.
Yep.
That's Chad Tracy today.
Poor bastard.
Stop painting those religious pictures.
The one looks the other way, one looks the other way. It's kind of like the Red Sox front office and the whole operation. One's going this way, one's going that way.
Yep. Chad Tracy's going to walk into that clubhouse.
Kyle Hudson is Billy Batts. He's in the back of...
Oh, boy.
Looks like a guy I know, huh?
Oh, boy. I like you, Chad Tracy. I want you to have a chance.
Me too.
You have a chance to get made. Or did he get made? Is he made right now?
Chad Tracy is, he's based on Craig Breslow's comments, very much not made.
He's about to get Tommied real bad. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
During Window Nation's current sale, the more you buy, the more you save. You could save up to 50% on new windows for your entire home. Plus, you could get them with 0% interest for 5 years. Sale.
philosophies. Like, do you feel like that's a fair characterization, that maybe, that kind of you're the one who gets to keep going with your way because, and Alex doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of won out. Is that a fair?
No, I think characterizing the relationship as a power struggle is unfair. I look at these roles as a partnership. As someone that I can bounce ideas off of, he can bounce ideas off of. Ultimately, again, this is about needing to do everything we possibly can to give ourselves to have the best, 135 games from here forward.
To the owner and said, I think we should fire Alex Cora. And there's a bunch of articles today. Chris Cotillo is all over it. I heard McAdam was he was asking a lot of questions. Yep. I thought they were fairly good.
I think they flew McAdam down there, to my understanding, which is good on Mass Live for getting McAdam boots on the ground for that.
So just quickly, because I know you have a thought on that power struggle thing, Matt, but I wanted to just mention this. Cotillo talked about in his article today that the ownership was around, as we know, that there was a lot of complaining about the youth not being ready, and even the veterans. So I'm sure Contreras is one. Contreras was mentioned in the meeting, and there too is not getting a lot. He could be one of these guys that is sent out maybe at the deadline or whatever. But Alex Cora wasn't the one who last offseason failed to trade from the Red Sox surplus of young outfielders. The one who blew the pursuit of Alex Bregman in free agency, the one who then pivoted to run prevention. It was Craig Breslow. This is what Ken Rosenthal is saying today. In an endless game of Survivor at Fenway Park, only no one ever survives. Not top executives, not superstars like Mookie Betts or Rafael Devers or even Alex Bregman, not managers like Terry Francona, John Farrell, and now Alex Cora. I think he's right. Are we not giving ownership enough heat for what is happening right now?
Oh, I mean, what, you and me individually?
Today.
What, because we work in Nesson?
No. Forget about that.
Yeah.
Do you think that today it's worth doing that?
In the big picture, yes. Yeah, it is worth criticizing.
Like today, it's worth doing that.
Well, yeah, because I think they've created a culture where, again, it's an endless game of Survivor. Who's getting stabbed in the back next? I mean, that ultimately does come from the top. I think the Red Sox have a culture problem going all the way to the top. But am I going to blame the manager for the culture problems in the clubhouse? Yes, I am. Am I going to say that Alex Cora wasn't the solution, the fix for the Red Sox moving forward? Yes, I am. Am I going to rip Craig Breslow for building a roster with $190 million that sucks? Yeah, I am. And am I going to criticize ownership for putting people like Craig Breslow in charge? Yes, I am. Yes. Am I going to criticize ownership for not being a top 3 spending team in baseball the way they once were? Yes, I am. Am I going to defend ownership because in the end, $190 million should buy a better baseball team than this? Correct. Yes. Am I going to defend Craig Breslow by saying his manager has been trying to sabotage him? Yes. Am I going to defend Alex Cora by saying his general manager sucks and gave him a crappy roster? Yes. Who's to blame? Everybody. And that's the Red Sox. It's the way it's been for years. Every single person over there deserves a large piece of the blame pie. So should Alex Cora not get fired because his GM also sucks? No, Alex Cora should get fired because he's been bad at his job. Should Craig Breslow get fired because he's bad at his job? Yes. Should Craig Breslow not get a pass because Alex Cora is bad at his job? No. They all suck. Every single one of them. They're bad. They're bad over there. So, this is what I hate, Joe. We come in and we say they should fire Alex Cora. They did a good job at firing Alex Cora. And people say, well, you can't blame Cora for this.
Thank you. This is where I'm going with it. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, the GM sucks. We understand it. The GM's not good. But that doesn't mean that Alex Cora shouldn't be fired too. Come on.
Well, that's like a wrestling promo. No, keep going because, yes, Matt. Yes. There are people like, you're not hard enough on the owners today. You're not getting on the owner. Well, I'm glad they fired Alex Cora. I'm happy that they actually had the balls to fire somebody and that they made a move. I'm not protecting ownership. I'm happy that the sucky guys they put in charge, one of them actually said we should fire the guy. I'm happy about it. I'm happy that they suck and that they fired somebody for sucking.
It's been too long. He's gotten away with it for too long. What do they say in Breaking Bad? He can't keep getting away with this?
Yes.
Alex Cora couldn't keep getting away with it. Is he the number one problem over there? No. But divvy up the blame pie however you want. It's 50% ownership, it's 25% front office, it's 25%, however you want to do it. They all deserve blame. They've all done a bad job.
And now they know that the team sucks. And so they've now literally, it was a joint decision. No. Craig's decision. So now Craig Breslow has 135 games to try to live and try to save his job. And if he doesn't, the owner that you all hate, that think we're not getting on him, is going to fire that guy. And then they can actually bring in a general manager, hopefully, that can hire his own manager, hopefully, and get the damn program back on track.
Okay. Are you going to get that general manager who might come in here and say, well, I'm going to be Sam Kennedy's scapegoat? So this is where the problems
I wouldn't be surprised if him doing the old flip-flop today, bet you his job's on the line too.
Maybe.
So I don't want it today to look like we're not hard on ownership, because I'm glad they fired Alex Cora. Joe Murray, and Matt McCarthy. I'm throwing you now.
Yeah, no, you can throw me in there.
We are happy that they fired Alex Cora. It doesn't mean that Craig Breslow doesn't also suck.
Thank you, Joe. It also doesn't mean that ownership didn't create an operation where they empowered Alex Cora so much to the detriment of the organization. Now, they've started to fix that problem, but who created that problem in the first place? Ownership. So, yes, in the end, it all does come back to ownership. But, Joe, every freaking time we talk about the Red Sox, it's how John Henry's the worst owner in town, and John Henry's like, okay, are you right? Yes, you might be right. I'm tired. Eventually, I want to blame the general manager for building a crappy baseball team and the manager for trying to sabotage the general man. Like, I can still talk about John Henry 3 weeks from now, 3 months from now, 3 years from now. I probably can't talk about Alex Cora 3 years from now. You know why? Because they just fired his ass. So you know what? This is also, Joe, you and me, thinking that maybe we'll still be doing this 3 years from now, which probably is not a great bet, to be totally honest, given the way that this business is going. But we'll be able to talk about John Henry 3 years from now and all the bad things he's doing. Today is a day to talk about the bad things that Alex Cora did that deserved and led to him getting fired.
Yes, the conversation today is about Cora, who had the most power in the team, and Craig Breslow, who has an awful roster.
And built an awful roster.
Went to the owner and said, hey, we got to fire this guy.
You want more on that?
Yeah.
Buster Olney. Where does he work, Joe?
ESPN?
You know where Alex Cora worked?
He was ESPN.
I wonder where this came. Buster, Alex Cora says, quote, for years, Cora was the most powerful person in the organization, but with last year's success, sources within the Red Sox organization felt that Breslow had built a productive relationship with Henry. Get ready for all of this. I look forward to Buster Olney's report on this, which will be from Alex Cora. I look forward to hearing from more people on the Red Sox beat, more people in Red Sox world, and then, we'll wonder where that's coming from. I look forward to hearing from Carabas on all of this. I know Section 10 dropped an emergency pod last night that I've not been able to listen to yet, so the power struggle is real. I know Breslow said, quote, characterizing this relationship as a power struggle is unfair. No, it is fair. The power struggle is real. And Craig Breslow won. He seized power today.
He won.
But for how long?
Just to give you the Breaking Bad reference, I won. But, all right, one thing we can get on. You want to get on the owner for a second?
Let's do it. I'm all for it, Joe.
He was in Baltimore today.
He didn't speak. He should have spoken.
I think we can get on him for that.
Good for the Red Sox beat for asking Kennedy twice on that. Why isn't John Henry here? And I will say, and this is where I'll defend Kennedy, and I'm not in the business of defending anybody over there. His job is to speak for John Henry. Eventually, John Henry's job should be to speak for John Henry. I'm tired of asking Sam Kennedy how John Henry feels. Because then you're just going to get mad at Sam Kennedy for saying something when Kennedy basically had to dodge it twice today. I don't put that on Kennedy. I guess that's what he gets paid for, to take a beating for John Henry. Yeah. So I'll defend him on that.
Garrett Whitlock just came out and also said that Henry and Kennedy did not address the media today. It was Breslow and Tracy.
What did not address the media? Did not address the team?
Sorry, the team. So Whitlock saying that, does that mean he wants to hear from the owner? Like at some point, I'm only saying this because would you consider Whitlock a veteran on the team?
Yes. Yeah, he's one of the guys.
If he's saying that it wasn't Kennedy and Henry and they were there, they're probably upset about it.
Yep. No, he's coming out and saying that for a reason.
I don't think that's reported. I'm getting text by that if it's not bothering somebody, right? I also got a text that Roman Anthony is in the lineup today.
He is, yes.
From sources on the ground. I will say this. John Henry being there and not speaking, I think it's a bad look. But it's consistent to what he's been doing.
Ownership, he spoke to the team ahead of spring training.
Yep.
Ownership should address the team on a day where they fired the manager. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, and this is from Tim Healy. Garrett Whitlock said neither John Henry nor Sam Kennedy spoke during the meeting with the players this morning. He said Craig Breslow spoke for about 2 minutes and Chad Tracy talked for 3 to 5. Henry should have spoken. Kennedy doesn't need to speak.
They did say that
there
at the podium, I believe, didn't they?
Well, they said they all met with the players, but I don't think they specified who spoke.
Yeah.
So now
it's coming out that it wasn't Henry.
I believe Whitlock in this scenario. So yeah, Henry should address the team in that scenario. Kennedy doesn't need to. Henry should. And Breslow should, of course. It's Breslow's decision, it's been made very clear. And obviously Tracy should address the team as well. But ownership, someone from ownership level should have addressed the team. That you should absolutely criticize them for that, and you should criticize John Henry for not speaking to the media, essentially speaking to the fans today.
So John Henry didn't answer questions. Breslow still thinks his team is good. And it was Breslow's decision to fire Alex Cora. Anything else?
Anything else, Joe? We're here until 1:30.
Again,
a lot more.
Again, I got a text saying that Roman Anthony is in the lineup.
Yep. Smelly. Oh, Cora had lost the clubhouse. That's pretty obvious. Joe, we were hearing stuff about that. First homestand. Wednesday. Milwaukee game. People are saying this clubhouse culture is not good. Smelly.
We'll have more coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
pivoted to run prevention approach over the offseason. Are there any second thoughts about the direction you took in assembling this roster, given how it's performed?
Well, I think you work backwards from the last statement, which is how we're performing, and we are clearly not performing, up to our expectations, up to the players' kind of historical track records. I think we need to do everything possible to get there and then determine exactly, kind of whether or not this was the right strategy. But step one is getting players to perform, the way that they have historically, the way that we believe that they can, and putting support in terms of staff and resources around them in order to do that.
Ring. I feel like you'd be more of a.
I'm not an in the ring guy.
You'd be like a manager.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, you'd be like a like I don't want to call it like a someone like a guy who would walk someone to the ring. Like maybe every once in a while you'd maybe throw someone some brass knuckles, or maybe throw a chair in the ring. But yeah, that was a promo, Matt. I got to admit, because you were like, yeah, I was going with you. But you had something on the push pull power struggle.
Oh, well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that it's a power struggle. I mean, Chris Cotillo essentially reported that last night. And Jeff, I'm sorry to, put this on you here. If we could maybe play the Chris Cotillo, I don't know if we're going to be able to get Jeff at this point. Could we maybe play the Chris Cotillo cut from earlier today on the Fenway Rundown podcast? So, Joe, you're saying this is a power struggle. Breslow denied that today. Well, here's what Cotillo said last night about how things played out between the Red Sox and played out with Chaim Bloom a few years ago and Alex Cora. This was Chris Cotillo on the Fenway Rundown podcast last night.
This is a guy who's ruthless, and he does what he thinks is best for himself and his organization. And wiping out Cora and a bunch of guys who are Cora guys on that staff, Vasquez, Fatsy, who Cora was a huge fan of, Veritek, you name it. To me, like, that is Craig Breslow putting his imprint on the organization, and it's self-preservation and him saying, look, I'm not going to let Cora wheel and deal and backroom his way with Sam Kennedy to my firing in a way that Chaim Bloom felt happened with him. And that's a real piece of this.
Ooh, I like that. I mean, like, does that bother you about Breslow? Like, it kind of shows that, I don't know, maybe he's got a little balls and wants to fight for his job and maybe believes the team. Like, it sounds like today he said it himself again. He believes in the roster. I don't. He does.
Well, he has to say that because he put it together, right? I mean, everything about the Red Sox is self-preservation. Breslow bit Cora before Cora could bite him because he saw Cora bite Bloom. Now, in the end, Chaim Bloom was a terrible general manager and deserved to be fired, but he was undermined by his manager. And Cora was starting to undermine Breslow. He's made comments on Friday night. My sense would be the decision, and then Kennedy said the decision was made yesterday morning to fire Cora. My guess is the final straw was Cora's comments Friday night about, this is a young roster and I have to coach these young players. That's my job, which is a backhanded shot at Breslow, at ownership. It's like, look at the roster you've given me again. This is the man who famously once said the roster is the roster. And he was doing it again because that's who he's been. So Cora was a problem behind the scenes. Breslow is a problem behind the scenes because he has seized power. Like everything with the Red Sox, it is a power struggle. And where does it go from here? If the team struggles again, does Sam Kennedy try to consolidate power and fire another general manager? Kennedy's gotten 3 GMs at this point. How many GMs do you get? Everything is about self-preservation. If you don't think that politics and cattiness and backstabbing doesn't exist in sports, please take a look at the Boston Red Sox for the last 5, 6, 7, 10 years, however long it is. This has been a hallmark of the Henry ownership group, going all the way back to Theo leaving in a gorilla suit. This is who they've been for years and years and years. And Cora's been at the center of all of it, and now he's gone, purged. He's been purged along with the rest of the people in his orbit. Fatsy, gone. Vasquez, gone. Veritek, a Cora guy, gone.
Matt, there's not a lot of good stuff coming out of the clubhouse today.
No, there is not. What are you seeing?
Whitlock spoke again. Players were not invited to ask the bosses questions about Alex Cora's firing in the situation. They made it very clear that we get paid to play baseball, and we need to just focus on playing baseball.
Well, he's next. Get ready for the trade deadline deal of Garrett Whitlock. What did they do in North Korea, Joe? I mean, didn't they like strap some guy to an anti-aircraft thing?
I don't even know. Are we really going there right now?
You know the gulags.
Whoa, God, this isn't good, everybody.
It's good for us, is what it is.
I'm trying to get a vibe. Again, I just, sources on the ground, I'm trying to get a vibe check out there. It's not good.
No, Joe, it's not good for them.
Yeah. So real quick,
it's great for us.
I love to, when it comes to betting, I love the coach's fired angle. Coach gets fired, the team responds. You think the team's motivated to play today?
Joe, here,
Garrett Whitlock, they're going to send him out there in the eighth inning?
I love your theory. Always bet on the team the day after they fire their coach. Normally, they fire the coach after a loss. They put up 17 runs yesterday. What do you think you're getting from them today? I might tail the Red Sox today, Joe.
I'll give you the line right now.
The Purge.
The line for today's game, Red Sox are an underdog plus 113. And Connolly early on the mound. Over under 7.5.
I think the Orioles might score 11 today.
Oh, boy. All right, well, we'll just see what else keeps trickling in. That Garrett Whitlock quote, oh, boy. Oh, boy. And you know what's funny? They did say, how do the veterans feel about this, or did you ask anybody in the clubhouse? I don't think they did.
Should they? See, I don't think they should. I understand why Whitlock feels that way, and I get it from a player's perspective, but there's no energy in that clubhouse, as has been reported. There are clubhouse problems, so it's why am I going to go to the clubhouse where there's no leadership and there are issues to ask about leadership?
Well, so I hate to go back to 2004 because it was such a monumental year, but there were pitchers saying that I think we need to be better on defense. Mm-hmm. And I think it got to Theo. And I think Theo eventually was like, we need to make a move to get better defensively. And it could have been Schilling because of the relation. I know it's such a different era. It's 20-something years
Think about how
ago.
many veterans were on that club.
Yeah.
Think about how many guys who had kind of been there.
Like Schilling can probably had that cachet to do that.
Right. You also had a new manager, essentially a new general manager who was hired by the GM. It's, completely different situation. I hear what you're saying, Joe. But I understand why you wouldn't ask this group. Who are you going to go in there? We like Garrett Whitlock, right? Hey, Garrett Whitlock, you've pitched in 6 big games in your career. What do you think?
I don't know who you would have went to anyways. That's the problem with the team.
Well, they don't have that guy.
They don't have it.
It'd be one thing if Alex Bregman says, hey, they didn't, they're not paying attention to us. It's another thing for, I don't know, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and I'm just throwing that name out there. It's for him to say they're not paying attention.
The sniffer is never wrong, everybody.
I know.
Let me tell you this. I got something for you on the other side.
Okay, hit the break. Let's do it.
We'll hit a break. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hi, it's Jason Todd from Blue Sky Restoration. All basketball season, Blue Sky is restoring historic garden.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. It's Joe Murray, Matt McCarthy. Appreciate you all being patient with us. We have information coming in. I'm trying to reach out with people in Baltimore. Jeff's got the Bruins game coming up. So he's working with the guys at the Garden, trying to get that going. Matt's got tons of quotes. I see you guys on the phone lines. We'll get to you. We're working on a weekend, baby.
We're busy.
We're literally, we have 3 guys here, yep. But there's a lot going on. So thank you for being patient with us. I have the sniffer out because this Roman Anthony thing, I've been sniffing it for 4 days, and now I got it. Roman Anthony speaking to the media today. Chad Tracy currently speaking to the media. We'll give you those calls. We'll run on it. Roman Anthony, Trace is tremendous at what he does. We know that he's going to have our back. Trace is going to be great. So I ask you, did Alex Cora have Roman Anthony's back?
Roman Anthony missed the last couple of games with a back injury, didn't he?
I also reference a quote that Ken Rosenthal may have heard off the record about young players getting their money.
Yep.
And not being able to coach or manage them the right way.
Mm-hmm.
What did Roman Anthony get a year ago?
Money.
We've heard from Garrett Whitlock in his quotes, right?
Garrett Whitlock, I would say, is a Cora guy based on his comments today. Roman Anthony, I would say, not in the Cora camp based on his comments. Marcelo Meyer, who's Roman Anthony's best buddy. Mm-hmm. I mean, they go back a long way now. They've enjoyed the nightlife together, Joe. Marcelo Meyer, I think we all know, has had some issues with Cora. Cora has been very public in his criticism of Marcelo Meyer. Not so veiled shots at Marcelo Meyer. I would say Meyer and Anthony are not Cora guys. Some of the veteran guys on this team are Cora guys.
And just before you do that, can you give out the lineup? And then there's a quote from another Cora guy. Give us that, Matt.
Here's your lineup. Chad Tracy's first lineup as manager of the Boston Red Sox. Leading off in left field, Jarren Duran.
Oh! But Roman is in the lineup today, and he's not batting leadoff? Well, keep going.
Wilson Contreras batting second. Roman Anthony, the designated hitter, playing batting third.
Oh, well, hold on.
So Cora was the problem there, huh?
Oh, whoa.
Duran installed back as the leadoff hitter for the first time since August of last year based on, he may have led off earlier this year on a day where Anthony was not in the lineup. But either way, Anthony back in the lineup. He gets dropped down to third, followed by Abreu, Rafaela, Meyer at second, Durbin at third, Wong is catching, batting ninth, playing shortstop, Andrew Monasterio.
Who deserved it because he had a good game yesterday. He's actually had a couple of good games. So Trevor Story's out of the lineup today, Matt, huh?
First day for Chad Tracy. Trevor Story out of the lineup. Here's what Trevor Story had to say. Quote, some of the best coaches in the world didn't get a fair shot. Unquote. Says the guy who gets ripped out of the lineup. No, Trevor, you've gotten too many shots. His biggest enabler in the organization was Alex Cora. Cora got fired. Story might be next. Good. You know what? Good for Chad Tracy for coming in and saying, we can't keep playing this guy just because he's the manager's boy. Can't keep playing him. He sucks. He stinks. Out of the lineup day one. And here comes Trevor Story, who, by the way, I've been told is such a leader on this team. Well, Trevor, why don't you lead the team out of this? Oh, wait, you're not leading because you're not in the lineup anymore? That guy's such a fraud. Trevor Story, such a fraud. Terrible baseball player. Not a good leader. Not the veteran presence of Trevor Story. Kiss my ass with that. Out of the lineup you go. Good on Tracy. Good on Tracy for benching this bum.
Wow.
Some of the best coaches in the world didn't get a fair shot. You know what? Designated for assignment. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
I would trade him because,
he's not worth anything.
Well, you're just going to eat his money.
Eat the money. Get him out of here. They're eating the money on Cora. DFA his ass, too.
True. This is story, guys. This is a story. This is for the people who say you're not hard enough on ownership. The story's not about ownership today. It's about Alex Cora and the power that he had, and the control. Maybe some of the guys who suck were having playing every day.
Trevor Story.
And you know what? If it was Marcelo Meyer or Roman Anthony, and they went and if they had to go and talk to maybe Breslow or somebody else, good. Roman being out of the lineup to flip the platoon is ludicrous. Marcelo Meyer being pinch hit or not playing against lefties when he's the highest draft pick you ever had is absolutely ludicrous. In fairness, are they both probably ready as great fielders or hitters or know everything? No. But you know what? They got to play every day.
They have to. I mean, they've built the entire future around the organization, of the organization around those two. You have to find out if they can play or not. And listen, Joe, I'm not a Marcelo Meyer guy. I haven't been for years. I've been harder on Meyer than just about anybody in this town. But you're telling me you're going to play Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Andrew Monasterio, and at this point, Trevor Story over him? Give me a break. Give me a break with that.
Yep. The only reason why I say the Monasterio thing, I think he's played well to deserve playing time.
So, again, good on the new manager for saying, I'm going to reward this guy and I'm not going to protect the veteran player. Cora had factions. Everybody. The problem with the Red Sox, Joe, is everybody's on one side or the other. Nobody's rowing in the same direction. And they purged the Cora people yesterday. And all of a sudden, shocker, Trevor Story's out of the lineup today. I mean, he's played his way out of the lineup. He should be out of the lineup, but I mean, you can't. Precious Trevor, we can't. Trevor Story shouldn't be playing shortstop on this team. The run prevention Red Sox have a guy who's statistically, analytically, one of the worst shortstops in the game. So really, the Alex Cora Red Sox were just the hurt feelings prevention Red Sox, because Trevor Story is a sacred cow. Not anymore. Good.
I like this. So we have Cora now. Oh, not Cora. We have Cora's boys. Whitlock, Story. Who else?
Well, we're going to find out as comments continue to come out of the lineup, out of the clubhouse today.
But those two right now, I think would be on the block.
Tyler Milliken tweets this out, and it's so true. What an absolute mess. This is the leader of your team, talking about Trevor Story. If Trevor Story's your leader, you're screwed. The leader to where? Captain of the SS 500? Oh, no. Aye, Trevor Story. Good. Get him out of here. Why is he still here?
So this is why I'm happy that they fired Cora.
Yeah, the purge had to start at some point. And yes, should Breslow be purged too? Yes, and all of his people? Of course, get them out of here too. But you had to start somewhere. You start with Cora, and now we're going to find out who was a Cora guy in that clubhouse and who was not. Oh, poor Trevor. Oh, Trevor. Oh, so sad, Trevor. Dude, stop hitting $190. All right?
Don't get a new contract and hit $190 and play crap shortstop.
The guy sucked for 4.5 years. Oh, he had a couple cute months last year. Kiss my ass.
In a contract year.
Nobody, and it was. And you know who didn't opt out? Because you know who didn't believe he was going to sustain it? Trevor Story. You know who didn't believe he was going to sustain it? The rest of baseball. Which is why he didn't opt out. It's why he's still here and you're stuck with this guy. You shouldn't be stuck with him anymore. We've already purged Cora and the rest of his coaching staff. Just get rid of him too. Designate him for assignment. Seriously, Joe. Designate him for assignment after those comments. Get him out of here. What good is keeping Trevor Story going to do? What, maybe he'll have a couple hot months this summer? Great. Play somebody else. You got a culture problem here.
All right. We'll break on that one. See what else comes out during the break. Hey, the Bruins play tonight. There was a Patriots draft.
Mike Vrabel's having himself a good day, isn't he?
Mike Vrabel got bailed out. Bailed out.
He doesn't need counseling to bail him out of that.
He better go call Alex Cora right now and send him some cigars.
Cora will take the call. He's texting and emailing everybody.
You listen to the 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports.
here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Do you want to announce that lineup one more time for us? The Red Sox have a new lineup. Chad Tracy is the new manager today. Alex Cora fired, if you're just tuning in. What is the lineup today?
Duran, Contreras, Abreu. Sorry, I'm going to start over. Duran, Contreras, Anthony, batting third. Abreu, Rafaela, Meyer, Durbin, Wong, Monasterio. Story out of the lineup.
They're sending a message with that lineup, dude.
As they should. Couple of messages.
So the Story comments being furious and upset about Alex Cora and him being out of the lineup today screams that he was an issue or people had an issue with him.
I don't know if people have an issue with him. I mean, I think the issue is Story can't play anymore. His play sucks, but he was a golden goose for Alex Cora. And, I mean, he's made it very clear he's a Cora person this morning. This from Tim Healy. Trevor Story said Red Sox boss's explanation this morning was not sufficient, and he intends to have more conversations with Craig Breslow today. Quote, it's up in the air what the true direction of the franchise is, unquote. Now, is Trevor Story wrong when he says that? No. I mean, of course the direction is up in the air. The players probably have a right to be pissed. But coming out so publicly is only undermining this even more. Trevor Story is not a leader. You can't. Everybody needs to be rowing in the same direction. And that's the problem with the Red Sox is they don't. And the reason Story isn't rowing in the same direction as the franchise is he knows a new manager's coming in who's not going to let him get away with what he's gotten away with. Trevor Story, for 4.5 years at this point, has gotten away with being a crappy baseball player outside of a couple of months last year. And yet Cora just kept giving him rope and giving him rope and giving him rope. Trevor Story thinks he's owed something. And now it's apparent he might not get what he thinks he's owed, so he's pissed. He's a loser. Get him out of here.
Personally, I don't care about his opinion.
I don't either. He hasn't earned that.
But him saying it's up in the air what the true direction of the franchise is.
He's right. But it can't come from him.
It can't come from him.
No, and that's the problem. The entitlement. Oh, Trevor Story, you have accomplished nothing. Nothing. In the grand scheme of things, you've played almost meaningless baseball for nearly your entire career. I think the guy's played something like 6 playoff games. He's won nothing. He sucked almost the entire time he's been here, yet he comes out and acts like he's owed something. You're owed nothing. You're not owed your job. You haven't earned your job. You haven't earned your money. You haven't earned that contract. You haven't earned anything. And now somebody's coming in who might make you earn it, and you've got a problem with it. And he's the leader, according to Milliken, who's tweeting this out. And yes, I mean, Story is a key guy in that clubhouse. If Trevor Story is your leader, you've got a problem. I would designate him for assignment immediately after these comments. We can't have a guy like this around here. We're trying to get this thing turned around. And you're going to be a problem because these comments suggest he's going to be a problem.
I don't like Whitlock's comments. Yeah, maybe they weren't addressed by the owner, and that's a problem. I'll admit it. But the whole saying that out loud almost puts it as they're putting all the issue on ownership and not the players on the field. And to Story's point, he has no right to say these things. Yeah, if you want to back Cora for being your guy, great. But the message shouldn't be coming from you, dude.
Yeah, I don't have as much a problem with Whitlock's comments. If there's a guy in that clubhouse who has earned it, I mean, it's Whitlock. Sure. He's been one of their better players in recent years. I also, I don't know how much of what Whitlock said is about self-preservation. Everything Trevor Story said is about self-preservation. He knows he's not in the lineup today. Whitlock, he's going to be your 8th inning guy no matter what because he's pitched well. He's been one of your better guys. Trevor Story is saying all of this because his biggest enabler just got fired. So he's looking out for numero uno. I mean, at least I could say with Whitlock, maybe he's looking out for the guys beside him. Trevor Story might make it out to be that he's looking out for the guys beside him. He's looking out for himself.
All right. You want to take some calls?
Please.
Anthony's in Waltham. Sorry for leaving you on hold, bud. How are you?
No, you guys do a great show. And Matt, how good is Franklin Arias? Is there any chance he could make the majors this year? Isn't he putting up these video game numbers, 1? Yep. And 2, who would be the next GM of the Red Sox? I'm just asking. I don't know.
So Arias has torn up Portland this year. Talk to me in July about that. His guy's played 15 games in Portland so far and is hitting 420. But I think the point you're making is good. Like, I'd look to Worcester first. You know, Nick Sogard should probably be on the team, and not that
Nate Eaton should be too.
Nate Eaton should be too. So, you know, there are a couple guys down there. I'm not saying they're going to turn it around, but they're better than Durbin. They're better than Kiner Falefa. They're better than Trevor Story at this point. Like, is the organization better if you have Nick Sogard at shortstop instead of Trevor Story? To me, the answer is yes. At least Sogard's going to come in and do the right things. Story's not going to do the right things. So let's talk about Arias later on. But you're right. Like, they need changes in that clubhouse now, too. They purged Cora. They purged the coaching staff. You got to start changing a little bit of that roster. That would be my approach.
Do you think Christian Campbell has anything to do with this?
Campbell looked better in Worcester when I saw. I've seen him twice now in Worcester. He looks better. He made a diving play in right field yesterday that was good, but he actually kind of roundabouted the ball a little bit. He
used his athleticism more than
his athleticism more than his baseball instincts. Got a good jump on the ball. He's looking a little better at the plate. I would not rush Campbell at this point. I wouldn't.
Like, just let him play the full year. Maybe bring him up at the end of the year or something.
I mean, if he starts tearing the cover off the ball, yeah, you bring him up. But he still does not have a position, Joe. So he's a designated hitter.
Meyer's probably your shortstop in the future, or is Arias?
I would. We'll see. I would say
Arias can play second, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you can play short, you can play second. Yeah. I would put Meyer at shortstop now,
today,
or soon. Maybe he still needs to earn it. I'd put Sogard at shortstop. I'd call him up. I'd put him at shortstop. That guy's a pro. And then maybe eventually you give the job to Meyer. I'd get Story the F out of here. You can't have this.
You'd stick with Durbin too?
No, I'd send him to Worcester. But
I like Mikey Ramiro personally. Did you see him yesterday?
Ramiro didn't play yesterday.
Okay.
I'd give Ramiro more time in Worcester. That's just me.
Okay.
Breslow's not going to send Durbin to Worcester because then that admits defeat. So that now they have, Nate Eaton can play a little bit of infield. I'd put Eaton there. I mean,
Durbin's glove's been okay.
Durbin can field. And for a team built on run prevention, I can at least understand it.
I would let him try to work it out. He had a couple of hits. One is a home run off a pitcher.
Yeah, I mean,
at least he did that.
I mean, does Durbin feel better not having Cora? I mean, did Durbin feel like Cora believed in him? I mean, was there a disagreement in the I mean, I think there was a disagreement about where Durbin should play between Breslow and Cora. I know that. So maybe Durbin didn't feel like Cora fully had his back. I don't know. I mean, we're going to find these things out, Joe. We're going to find out who's a Cora guy and who's not a Cora guy.
I can't wait for that list. Keep working on it. Ralph's in Cranston. Ralph.
Hey, guys. Am I on?
Yeah, you're on, bud.
Oh, can you hear it? Look, you had to make this move, and I said it this week on numerous stations. Cora's way of managing is sit back and, okay, don't fret. We're going to come out of this. He did it last year, and it worked. That's done. That's completely done. Now, I hope Tracy's a tough guy. I would say, guys, no more of this ridiculous bump with your pelvis. I would get rid of this Wally stuff. And if we're going to play good, sound baseball, we're going to hit the cutoff man. We're going to play good defense. Guys, I waited over an hour, and it was well worth it because amen with Story. Trevor, you are a terrible shortstop. You're never going to win with a guy like that at shortstop. And guys, this goes over to the CEO, this phony that we see. He's just a mouthpiece. Story should have never been here. When they signed Story, they did it as a desperation move. They looked terrible. They're not doing anything. He was playing every other day for the previous team. They should have known this guy's got a bad elbow. Look at how much he's paid for what he's been. I would say, take him. Anybody you want him. Take him for nothing. Give us 2 golf balls. Take this guy and start anew. This team can start anew now. Guys, you know what? The pitching staff is there's some young guys here. We can play better. But this move had to be done. And I wouldn't put the blame on Breslow as much as I put it on Kennedy. He was the one that okayed the decision to pay those 4 guys that money way ahead of time. Even Anthony, you didn't have to pay it at this point. You don't spend a lot of money. You could have allotted that better. Pay them as they come down the line. Now you've got $80 million, including Yoshida, there, that you wish you really didn't have that much at this point. It's been mismanaged in many ways. You guys came up with great points. There's a lot of people to blame here, but Cora move, amen. Let's go on.
Thanks, Ralph. I got a text I'll share with you.
All right, let's do it.
On Trevor Story. This from a source. Story is speaking for 90% of that room right now. Let me tell you, then 90% of that room needs to go. You got problems. You got big time culture problems if entitled ass Trevor Story is, held up on some type of pedestal in that clubhouse. He can't play. So we've created a culture where Trevor Story is allowed to get away with his play because everybody likes him. And he's speaking for 90% of the room. You know why? Because Cora let them get away with it. Cora let them get away with, not performing up to their capabilities, not performing the way they should. I think there's a real culture of entitlement in that clubhouse. So players, of course, are going to have a problem with it because Cora didn't ask anything of them.
Do you care what those guys say or what Roman Anthony says?
Well, I care about what all of them say because that speaks to the problems.
One guy's back in Chad Tracy.
Yeah, I mean...
everyone else wants to talk about Alex Cora.
So there's a divide between the young guys and the veterans. And who is that on? The manager.
Yes.
The manager who had no interest in managing the culture. Dude, that is your job. So that's why he needed to go. An underperforming team who have gotten away with stuff like this for years. They fire the manager, and now the problem is, well, they're the bad guys. They fired the good guy. They fired our buddy. Well, that's not going to work.
Chad Tracy did talk to the media, said Trevor Story is going to have a rest day today. He'll be back tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see about that.
Connolly Early is on the mound today as well. I think he's been solid, and he's pitched well enough to get wins. I feel a coach bump today.
I don't.
I feel like
that was yesterday.
I feel the manager bump today, everybody. All right, we've talked to you guys. I know the phones. I know we'll
get them.
Jeff, I know you're busy back there as well. We've lost phones.
Oh,
okay.
Oh,
all right. Well, we'll work on that. Can we do 10 minutes on the Patriots on the draft?
I'll be honest, Joe. I mean, 10 might be too much on a day like today.
How about we split it up between Bruins and Pats for 10 minutes?
Let's run it all down. I know we're behind on breaks.
Cora breather. Maybe we get some more gossip coming in.
You got it.
We'll take a quick break. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Is your stone foundation in need of repair or waterproofing? Call Done Right Services. We use proven old-school methods to repoint and waterproof stone foundations for lasting results. With over 30 years of experience, you'll have peace of mind knowing it was done right the first time. Visit stonefoundationrepair.com and schedule today. Servicing Mass and New Hampshire.
Spring is here, and that means it's time to upgrade those old appliances. Doyon's annual warehouse sale is back Friday, May 15th and Saturday, May 16th in North Andover. Shop incredible deals on open box, scratch and dent, and discontinued appliances. Many still brand new in the box. Save up to 80% off retail on top brands and upgrade your home for a fraction of the price. If your appliances are on their last leg, don't miss the Doyon's warehouse sale. 2 days only, May 15th and 16th in North Andover. For more information on Doyon's warehouse sale, head to DoyonsAppliance.com.
Hey, it's Felger and Anzalone here, and we're talking about winning teams. John, what do you think makes the C's so good?
You know, it's chemistry, it's hustle, and it's drive.
Sounds like the same ingredients you have right here at Liberty Chevy.
You know, we're always in a position to have the lowest prices of anybody.
Lisa.
ESPN on Saturday that Mike Vrabel was in constant contact with the Patriots during his absence from the third day of the draft. And then apparently they did not contact him.
The walk back happened, is what you're saying. It was reported what was actually happening is that Mike Vrabel, I'm sure, was on Zoom the entire day during the draft, and then it got out. No, we never called him, not one bit.
Yeah, Elliot Wolf said that they would be missing his leadership and presence, and he's a tremendous recruiter for undrafted free agents. Then after the draft, he was not there.
In person, Joe.
So do you believe that he was a part of it or not?
Of course. How could you believe anything different? You're telling me that in 2026 they don't have Mike Vrabel somehow dialed in. Now he's not there in person, as part of the whole,
Council.
PR. Yeah, sure, right. Yeah, it just so happened. You're telling me this is the only day that Mike Vrabel could do counseling. It's a PR game. It's all it's been. It's a nightmare for them. And yes, Mike Vrabel was involved, I'm sure, with every single selection they made. He just wasn't there in person because they're trying to do this whole dog and pony show around, Vrabel, really, being accountable for his actions. Come on, give me a break with that. You believe that? I got a bridge to sell you if you believe that Mike Vrabel actually took the third day of the draft off. And let's, for the sake of discussion, not that I believe this or you believe this or anybody with a brain believes this, let's say he wasn't a part of the third day of the draft. Then why do we talk about the draft? Obviously, it doesn't matter. He was gone. They let him go away because it doesn't matter. Whatever. Third day of the draft, you don't need to be here. So don't ask me any opinion about a guy who was taken yesterday because the Patriots will tell you that it doesn't matter.
Well, I did not like a couple of picks.
Well, they don't matter because the coach wasn't there, right, Joe?
He wasn't there.
Okay, right. He definitely was not involved at all.
Do you care about the draft, or do you want? We can just
no. Hit me with
Caleb Lomu, drafted 28th. They traded up for him.
I like it a lot.
Big tackle, 22 years old.
Yes.
Red shirt sophomore. Did not give up a sack last year.
I like it very much. They need more depth on the offensive line. This is, if he can come in and play, Will Campbell kicks into guard. If he can't, it's a first-round pick, and that sucks, don't get me wrong, but you took a shot. Drafting tackles later in the draft, you have to spend a first-round pick on a tackle.
Yeah, drafting tackles are like starting pitchers now.
Yep.
They're all getting big money. Vederian Lowe just got big money.
You can never have enough tackles.
Yes.
So I'm a huge, I love the pick, love the approach. They should always have taken a tackle. I'm glad they did. If the kid can play, he's at right tackle this year. If Morgan Moses gets hurt, he's 35. He's at left tackle. If Will Campbell can't play anymore, whatever it is, Campbell kicks inside to guard. So I love the pick. I know we did just have Trevor Story. Maybe we'll try to get some of his audio.
I was looking at his face. He was mad.
Yeah.
He was mad.
Oh, because his enabler just got fired, Joe.
Yeah. The best draft pick that the Patriots made was Gabe Akis. He's from Illinois. He's a man. When I tell you this guy is a beast, played for Brett Bielema. He is an edge, hand down on the ground rusher. Was awesome in the Big 10, Big 12, whatever the hell it is now. My favorite pick of the draft. Eli Reardon.
Tight end.
This guy pancake blocks people. Bad knee injury out of high school. Re-injured in his freshman year. Huge plays for Notre Dame last year. He's an athlete, former basketball player. Good player. Is he going to be healthy? But I think as a third tight end, he can block right away. They drafted another tackle, Demetrius Crownover, big boy, converted tight end, but started for 3 years as a tackle. Very good. Nnamdi, the Abiazar guy from TCU, he was at least a productive guy. Don't know if he's going to be the backup to Robert Spillane. Jan Miller's a running back without a lot of experience, but these guys out of the SEC that are running backs like that, they do well in the NFL. He only rushed for 500 yards. Good. And then Kentavious Hutchins played at BC last year as their lead sack guy. I mean, Christian Ponder was undrafted last year and made an impact. Maybe that's another guy. And then they drafted a quarterback in Bayron Morton. Injuries as well, but pretty productive at Texas Tech. That's my draft stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
The Bruins play today.
Yes.
It's do or die for them.
Oh, no doubt about it. You like them taking Higgins out of the lineup?
I don't.
I don't either.
You know why? You know why I don't? Because generally when he calls these guys out, they respond. So they're not even going with Isamont, right? Aren't they going with somebody else?
Reichel.
Out. Isamont's the guy if you're going to do it. I also heard that they might take out Lowry, which
get him out of there.
Yeah, that one. You know what changed the series? The missed penalty shot.
Yep,
it changed the series.
Well, what changed the
And
series is, I mean, the collapse in Game 1.
Yeah, but they responded.
They did, but you can't give away games like that. The way they gave that game away, they're not good enough to give games away. So yes, change in net mattered for Buffalo, which does speak to the point again, Joe. Goaltending is not as important as we make it out to be. The Bruins always have the goaltending advantage in these series, and when does it really make that much of a difference? Isn't that pretty consistent?
Yeah, it's been,
going back to 2019.
Yeah, it's been what's in front of Swayman for sure. And
I mean, Swayman's been better.
Yeah, I think
Swayman's been better than their goaltending.
He's been much better.
And they're down.
Do you think Lindy Ruff has been the best coach in the series? I don't.
Sure. I mean,
I don't.
Sure, fine. I don't think it's really mattered.
I think
to be honest.
I think Sturm said that they're a more physical, better team. It bothered them.
Yep.
The Bruins got an advantage from doing that, but they blew the game one, as you mentioned. They came back and played well and won that game. And then all that went away. They could have had a 2-0 lead, and that penalty shot, I can't get over it. I can't get over it.
You shouldn't.
Because it literally took the wind out of their sail. If they bounce back today, I think they have a shot. I don't feel good about today. And they've been the best home team in hockey this year.
Yeah. I mean,
it'd be so Bruins
really
they'll be the best home team all year and then not win one playoff game.
Yeah, no, I mean, do you really believe in that? Like you say, they're the best home team in hockey. Like, what does that matter in this moment?
I guess it doesn't.
Do you really believe in that?
You have the most points in the league. Does it matter?
No. When it gets right to does having the better goalie matter? As we're told every time before these playoff series, well, Bruins have the better goalie. In the end, you end up losing most of these series. So it's like, does that really matter? You know what matters, Joe, is the 8-spoked bee. That's what matters. When you put that thing on, it's just goes to hell at this time of year.
Well, we'll have all the coverage beginning at 1:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. I should also mention that Bill Belichick in North Carolina, who were the 33rd NFL team, did not have a player drafted this year. Also, the Patriots selected 5 guys that are already married. We got to go to break. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
And yes, maybe some draft stuff and Bruins fallout. Oh, and the Celtics play tonight too.
Sure, yeah. Cool.
Right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub after the Bruins game. So you don't want to miss that. All
Game
right.
3 was pretty good. I will say that.
It was good.
Yep.
Jason Tatum clutch. Can I say that?
Yeah, very much. He was good.
Because people say he's never clutch.
Right. That has been suggested about him. Yes.
So I just wanted to point out an opportunity and a time when he was clutch.
That was good. I mean, it is against the Sixers in the first round, but yes, I hear what you're saying.
Jaylen Brown was good too.
He was good.
They were both playing together.
They have done that before.
They have.
Yeah.
Like one would pass to the other.
Sure.
And then when they got in trouble, they'd pass it to the other guy.
I mean,
and then he would do the job.
Are you suggesting that they're rowing in the same direction?
I would say the Celtics are definitely rowing. Vucevic, though, get him out of the defense. I never want to see him again. He's horrendous defensively. And Joe Mazzulla is going to die with him.
You can, yes, he will. Joe Mazzulla, if there's one thing Joe is, it is stubborn.
I don't know what what Vucevic did. But Mazzulla's going to we're dying with this guy. He's horrendous defensively. If Andre Drummond is running by you, you suck. Anyways, Buster Olney had something more to say regarding Alex Cora.
The best part about this, Joe, in the coming days is, Cora is friends with a lot of people in the media. So, is going to be the pettiness and the cattiness coming from individual media members. I mean, our good friend Jared Carabas tweeted out a whole bunch of pictures with Alex Cora today. On Instagram, not tweeted it out, put it on Instagram. It's kind of like a rest in peace, I'll miss you forever kind of thing. So I look forward to Carabas' commentary, Alex Cora's commentary on this. Sorry about that. Bob Nightingale tweeted out Chad Tracy's first lineup as manager of the Red Sox, and he phrased it that way. He said Chad Tracy's first Red Sox lineup card. Buster Olney responded and said Craig Breslow's first lineup card. The pettiness and the cattiness coming from certified friends of Alex over the next few days will be very enjoyable to watch. I'm sure the Boston Globe hit piece will be coming out on Cora. I'm sure the hit pieces on the Red Sox organization from Cora's friends in the media will be coming out. Get your popcorn ready, Joe. It's going to be good.
Okay. I say Ken Rosenthal. But enough about Breslow, who in the end is just another Henry pawn positioned to take the next fall. Under Henry, the Red Sox are incoherent, dysfunctional, and forever poised to overreact. Yet, why should the owner operate any differently? The turnstiles at Fenway keep spinning. Sweet Caroline keeps playing. Time for fans to alter the refrain. No good, no good, no good.
Friend of Cora?
Yeah, I think. Oh, yeah. Because remember, he got it wrong. Oh, he misspoke about the young players.
No.
Roman Anthony,
yep.
Christian Campbell, all those other guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we're really going to do a headline here.
Good eating for the next few days on this one, Joe. Maz picked a bad week to be off.
You know what? I think I'll do whatever time they want me to. Oh, there's been so much. Marathon Monday. Yep. You had the draft this week. You'd had multiple playoff games. The Red Sox fell apart. It's great.
Talk to you all week on the Baseball Hour. Something tells me we will have a lot to talk about.
Okay. Oh, you're here all week?
All week.
Oh yeah, because Maz was working last week, but not working this week?
That's correct, yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll see you all week.
I'll be here, Joe.
Tuned in on my way in.
I'll be looking forward to your breakdown of the 6th round draft pick that is obviously not important because they sent Mike Vrabel away for it.
The pick that I don't like is the corner that they took out of Wake Forest, who wasn't invited to the combine, is older than Christian Gonzalez, and has never played special teams. Can I be critical of a 5th round pick out of Wake Forest or no?
No. You can't, because the Patriots told you, again, the draft doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
They sent their coach away.
Draft doesn't matter.
Didn't you hear?
He's not going to be there the 3rd day.
Didn't you hear?
All right, then I won't.
I mean, I'm supposed to believe that, right? That Mike Vrabel's not there. So as a result, because I'm required to believe that, I can't talk about the draft because it doesn't matter.
Hey, did you see that? Did you see this note on Nesson under the graphic there about the Bruins there?
3-9 and home in the playoffs. Yeah, I can believe that.
Since 2023?
They haven't been good, Joe.
Oh, my God.
No, that's not good.
Oh.
I don't like that. That's bad.
All right, well, then it went to Red Sox Game Day Live.
No, you got the Bruins over there. Okay. I'm taking care of it.
Oh, there you go. All right. Matt McCarthy's going to get you caught up in headlines here on 98.5 The Sports.
From the Tom Fair Tire Studio, this is
strong finger all up and go.
This is home of the 18-time world champion Boston Celtics. WBZ-FM and HD Boston 98.5. The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines.
Well, the fallout continues after the Red Sox fired Alex Cora and the majority of his coaching staff last night. Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow spoke this morning. Kennedy said the decision to fire Cora was led by Breslow. Breslow, meanwhile, would not commit to interim manager Chad Tracy for the rest of the year. Tracy's first lineup is out. Duran, Contreras, Anthony. Anthony batting third today. Abreu, Rafaela Meyer, Durbin, Wong, and Monasterio. Trevor Story out of the lineup. He said today, quote, "Some of the best coaches in the world didn't get a fair shot," unquote. Trevor Story says that as he gets benched today on Chad Tracy's first day as Red Sox interim manager. First pitch, 1:35 between the Sox and the O's. Bruins and the Sabres play Game 4 this afternoon. We'll have a 1:30 pregame and a 2 o'clock puck drop here on the Sports Hub. Lucas Reichel expected to draw in place of James Higgins on the third line. Celtics and the Sixers play Game 4 of their series tonight, 7 o'clock start. 6:30 pregame, Joel Embiid doubtful. Revs and Inter Miami played to a draw last night. Headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Matt McCarthy. I'm Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
This is what happens when analysts take over the games, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub.
Boston sports, yeah, we got that covered. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Today, Craig Breslow didn't make me feel like Chad Tracy could even last the rest of the season.
Poor Chad.
That one I don't like. I'm sorry. I don't like that one. Hey, somebody asked earlier who would be the next GM if it doesn't work out. Is there anyone you have in mind?
Derek Falvey, former president of baseball operations, GM type for the Minnesota Twins. He's no longer there. I think the Red Sox may have been interested in him in the past. He's a local guy, which I know is very important to some people around here. He's from Lynn. So, I mean, Falvey is a guy who's experienced and has had success. So, is he more interested now than he was a few years ago? But again, if you're bringing in a GM, he's going to want to hire his own manager, which is one of the reasons Cora had to go. So, yeah, the problem is, Joe, if you fire Breslow now, given the lack of interest in the job last time because people felt like Chaim Bloom got a raw deal, partially because Cora was stabbing Bloom in the back, as Chris Cotillo basically reported last night, and after firing Dombrowski less than a year after winning a World Series, GMs, front office executive types, rightfully are looking at this thing and saying, why do I want to go there? Especially if you need to work with a manager who has been fighting the GM for the past couple of times. So, past two GMs, Cora's ended up in a power struggle with. He won one of them. He lost one of them last night. So he needed to go if you want to open up the door for Breslow going too, because what general manager would want to come in and not pick their own manager, especially if the manager has all the baggage with general manager relationships that Alex Cora does?
Okay. I'm curious on that. I like your answer on that. I don't know. I don't have a name. I'm going to think about it. Wasn't there a guy, Ramiro, that was going for it, or Romeo? I'm trying to remember who it was. They were in the I'm trying to think of some of the names. They probably got a clean house if that is the case. I did want to just bring this up. We saw Trevor Story and Whitlock were guys earlier this week when the show Foul Territory?
Yeah.
Cora was asked about who are the leaders on the team, and he instantly said Garrett Crochet and Trevor Story.
Mm-hmm.
You think Garrett Crochet is just going to pitch every day and be fine, or at this point, like, if you're a major league player and you're making this kind of money, you can be upset about it, but you still got to go out there and pitch. That's why I don't think the go out there and pitch, you have a job to do stuff really bothers me. I think Whitlock just wanted to throw that out in the media to back his guy.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about what Story said today. I mean, at least if Crochet has a problem with it, okay, fine. At least you've performed. If Whitlock has a problem with it, okay, at least you've performed. Trevor Story has a problem with this, and maybe he's speaking for a lot of guys in that clubhouse, but the messenger can't be Trevor Story. You're batting $198. You shouldn't be in the lineup. You've lost your job. You would have lost your job earlier on if Alex Cora weren't your manager. So when you fire your biggest enabler, like Trevor Story, maybe he's speaking for the rest of the clubhouse, but most importantly, he's speaking for himself. Self-preservation. That's what's been going on in the Red Sox organization for way too long. You don't have enough guys rowing in the same direction, and Trevor Story is not one of them.
Well, one guy not rowing in the same direction will be Jason Varitek, who was reportedly fired but then reassigned and was a part of the photo before they all got on the jet with a thumbs down. Varitek's wife posted on Twitter just a little while ago, Red Sox Nation, thank you for the love, support, and loyalty you've shown to my husband. Forever grateful.
For the past 3 decades.
3 decades, sorry, because he actually would be celebrating his 30th year. That's when the Slocum trade happened, actually. Mm-hmm. The other thing I wanted to mention is Alex Cora has texted everybody that he's happy. He tweeted out that he's happy.
I bet you he is.
And then on Instagram, posted a video of Mookie Betts and talking about leaving Boston. Tell me he's not bitter.
Good. No, he the cattiness and the drama. I mean, that's Alex Cora. In the end, he's catty. He's petty. It's great for us, Joe. I'll miss Alex Cora in this regard. As a talk show host in this town, Cora would always give you something. He'd always say something. But now you know why the culture, in big part, is not where it needs to be because of stuff like that. Does Cora have a right to be pissed about the way things down? Yeah, I mean, of course. He's not the number one problem with the organization, but he wasn't a part of the solution either. So, again, I look forward to hearing from certified friends of Alex over the coming days. The Red Sox smear campaign will be an all-time smear campaign, the same way that the Red Sox smear campaign of Alex Cora through their friends in the media will also be all-time. Buckle up. This thing is far from over.
Oh, it's far from over.
But the Varitek stuff, too, and Cotillo's reported this. A lot of people have reported this. I think Cora is happy. I think he's ready to be done with this. He's going to land on his feet. He can go do TV. He could probably go manage the Phillies. He could do nothing and sit around and get paid. Jason Varitek's not that Varitek needs the money. He played baseball for a long time, got a big contract here after the 2004 season, but he's not getting paid $8-9 million a year the way Cora is. Those coaches, the rest of those coaches aren't getting paid, and the way that Cora was. And I get it. Varitek is pissed, and apparently, reportedly, he's taking it harder than anybody else. The Red Sox are saying they're going to reassign him. This might be it for Jason Varitek in a Red Sox uniform after 30 years, based on what his wife tweeted out today.
Just wanted to mention Lou Maloney had a chance to talk before the game. He said you can be really good at your job in this business and still lose that position.
Another certified friend of Alex.
Yeah.
And Lou does a great job. I mean, all these guys do a great job. Lou, Carabas, Buster Olney's great, but Cora has a lot of friends in the media, and count Lou among them. But is what he said wrong? Can you give that to me again?
He just said you can be really good at your job and lose the position.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Lou's 100% right about that. I mean, Cora is a good manager, Joe. It had run its course here. Problem with Alex Cora is not managing the bullpen, managing in game. You can always nitpick stuff the manager does. I don't like the fact that he platoons so much, but the problem with Cora was the behind the scenes stuff. The problem with Cora was the politics, the backstabbing, all of that. So is he really good at his job as an in-game baseball manager? Yes, but there's more to the job than that, and he needed to go to fix it.
May I just say that I did not like the way that Cora snuck or kind of was protected in the Rafael Devers situation.
Couldn't agree more.
I feel like he's the one that wanted to bring Alex Bregman to Boston. He was the one who told Rafael Devers not to bring a glove. And then when they wanted him to bring a glove, he wouldn't ask him to. Then when they traded him, they went on a little bit of a run, right? Then in this offseason, when Alex Bregman did not re-sign and went elsewhere, he skated on that front too. Talk about power. He skated on so many things that went wrong for the organization, but yet ownership gets a lot. Hey, ownership's not. Listen, they hired a guy that might not be right, might not be ready, but it was always Cora who skated on all of those things.
And I think for a lot of fans today, Cora's skating too. I mean, you've heard from fans, I've heard from fans all day, Joe. Oh, they fired the wrong guy. Yet just because Craig Breslow also sucks at his job doesn't mean that Alex Cora should get to stick around. He's not doing a good job. He's not managing things behind the scenes the way he should. And I'm so glad you brought up the Devers thing. He did skate in all of that. Was ownership at fault? Yes. Was Craig Breslow at fault? Yes. Was Rafael Devers at fault? Yes. You know who got the least amount of heat last year with the way that all went down? Alex Cora, the player's manager, the guy who's the second highest paid manager in baseball, who's supposed to be able to figure out how to smooth things over, who's supposed to have good relationships with all of these guys, couldn't find a way to get Devers rowing in the same direction as everybody else. And he just washed his hands of the whole thing, which is Alex Cora's approach. In the end, if it's not going well, he washes his hands of it.
All right, we get the final segment of the show today as we lead you right into the Boston Bruins playoff hockey. And the Red Sox just about to get underway in Baltimore today with a new manager. No Alex Cora. We'll wrap this bad boy up here on the other side. I'm Joe Murray. Matt McCarthy's here in 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here on the Sports Hub. Look at the amount of people heading into the Garden today wearing their sweaters.
There we go.
They got to have this one, man. Look at that. Wow, Nesson just showed all the people that are going into the game. I wonder if everybody going into the game heard us dismantling everybody on the Red Sox today. And no one came out alive today. No. There was blood shed everywhere today.
No, it really, I mean, it was the baptism yesterday. The 5 families, 5 coaches.
Yes, the 5 coaches.
5 coaches get whacked. I'll tell you what, if this goes wrong.
If you really want to look at the last couple of years, Ortiz retired in 16, right?
Yeah.
I can't even remember the 17 team. But 2018, they won a championship. Best team of all time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next year, Dombrowski gets fired. And if you really look at it, Mookie Betts was traded the next year.
That's obviously all on ownership.
And then Cora was fired.
That's all on ownership.
Then Cora was fired. They brought him back, had the 1-game playoff against the Yankees, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
Then they lost in the ALCS. They moved on from Xander Bogaerts, and Trevor Story took over.
Right. Bogaerts, who was a leader. Trevor Story, well, he's a leader too. He's just leading you down.
And then 2003, Chaim Bloom was fired.
Yep.
Evaldi was out.
Yep.
And Chris Sale. That was the end of that one, right?
Let me ask you this. What you're kind of recapping the Cora era. What's his legacy?
It's winning in 2018.
Is that it?
Or his cheating scandal?
How do you summarize the Alex Cora experience? Was it a success?
No. Well,
I mean, because obviously, yes, they won a World Series. If you win a
championship, it's a success.
Was it a disappointment? He starts off year one, hotshot young manager, comes in, changes the culture from Farrell. They win. They have the best season in franchise history from a win-loss perspective, and never came close to that ever again. And for the most part, were very inconsistent, disappointing, and dysfunctional. Cora doesn't have, it's not like that's all on Cora. Far from it. He was saddled with 2 bad general managers. They fired Dombrowski. They traded Mookie Betts. There have been ownership issues. There's been dysfunction. All of those things. But in some ways, is the Cora era, does it leave you wanting more?
Yes.
Because it does leave me wanting more. Think about where they were in 2018. Didn't you feel like Alex Cora after that? I mean, Belichick, it was like Belichick and then Cora. You felt, and Stevens was still the coach of the set. You felt really good about the direction of the Alex Cora era, and it never quite. Joe, they made the playoffs twice after that, just twice since 2018. Now, obviously, the rosters have sucked, but I don't know. He's the 3rd winningest manager in Red Sox history after Cronin and Francona. So he stuck around a long time. I mean, Cora got more time than just about anybody in the history of the organization. I mean, 8 years on the job, right? If I'm doing my math right. How many seasons? 7, 8 years? No Red Sox manager gets 7 or 8 years. Red Sox managers historically have gotten 3 or less.
Yep. I would say the legacy for me, for Alex Cora, would be winning a championship, but the organization, I guess, thinking he was such a great manager that they could move on from star players and he could keep it afloat, and he couldn't. And you really want to look at it? I didn't get to the whole Bregman Devers thing. It's franchise altering.
Yep. There have only been 9 managers in the history of the Red Sox who have managed 5 years or more, and Cora would be Cora's on that list. Cora managed 8 years for this team. He's tied for 2nd all time. That is a long-ass time to manage the Boston Red Sox. 8 years, 3 playoff appearances. Now, not all of that is on him. Far from it. By saying this, I feel like I'm letting Breslow and ownership and the GM and Bloom off the hook. I'm not. By no means am I doing that. It's just strange for a guy to stick around that long and have not the playoff success that you would anticipate.
Yeah. All right, Connolly Early will be on the mound today for the Sox. We'll see how he plays. He pitches. He's been pretty good. The Bruins about to get underway. I think they need David Pastrnak to have a big game. And I don't want to say he's disappeared because he has a couple of points through 3 games. Mm-hmm. They need him today.
I mean, go back to game 1. Who shows up in that game and who didn't? Star players, Tage Thompson, 2 goals to tie the game. David Pastrnak, 2 breakaways, doesn't convert on either of them. So you're right. I mean, you should want more from Pastrnak. You should want more, from McAvoy. You go back to game 1. Turnover helps cost them that game. Yeah, I mean, it's, Joe, if the Bruins always have the goaltending advantage, as we've talked about, it is up to their star players to play like star players.
Mm-hmm. David Pastrnak, anytime goal, plus 165 today.
I don't like it. Betting on Pastrnak to do something in the playoffs is a bad bet. I'm going to stay away from that one.
You get geeky at 205.
Who's favored in the game?
So the Bruins are a slight favorite at minus 112.
Okay.
Buffalo's minus 108. It's a $4 difference.
Toss-up.
Because of the home.
Toss-up.
And it was a toss-up the other night, and Buffalo won 3-1. So if you follow the trend of the odds and whatever, the better team's Buffalo.
Yes, they are. But not by a significant... I mean, Bruins can still win this series, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I picked them to win this series. I picked them in 7. I want to stand by it. I'm wavering. I mean, you see game 2, and you say they're more than capable of this.
Yep.
I don't believe in that Sabres team. I don't
either.
Also don't believe in this Bruins team.
How about this? Whoever wins today's game wins the series.
I would agree with that. Mm-hmm. You go back to game 7 in Buffalo. I love the Bruins in that spot. That building's going to be tight. I'd rather be game 7 on the road in hockey.
Coaches. By the way, the Celtics play tonight. It'll be after the Bruins.
We'll have them both here.
Big night for Peyton Pritchard.
I like that.
Matt, great job today.
Joe, always fun with you.
This was excellent. Therapeutic. Jeff Williams, excellent job as always, sir. He'll be taking over from here.
Great work, Jeff, today. Seriously.
We'll hand things over to Ryan Johnson and Bob Beers. It's Boston Bruins hockey, and it's next playoff hockey on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Take it